Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Reality Realness with 3 S's. I'm your host, Chantele Francis. And yes, the Holy Trinity is back together again. We have Drew and Chris here to do power rankings for the first 2 episodes of the Challenge USA Season 2. My day is complete. Even before we started doing this, I'm very excited. Drew, how are you doing? Thanks for being here.
I'm doing very well. As long as I'm not, I don't know. I was going to say, as long as I'm not Jenna, but I don't know who I want to be in the scenario of the Holy Trinity. But
you don't want to be Jenna? You don't want to have a third child on the way?
Oh my gosh. No, thank you. I guess Kayla at this point. At least she's married to a stellar Englishman. So I'll definitely...
Sasha, I'm going to be the Nani in this situation because Nani is married to a billionaire, which is pretty awesome.
That's true.
She's, I'd say, the most fun out of all the 3 of them, and she's also Aquarius. Her day's the day after mine, I think, or the day before. So I'm going to embody Nani as part of this Holy Trinity. Chris?
All right, Chris, then you're Jenna.
Well, I feel like Angel Cake, you've got all the children. Like your Patreon, the bakery is all your children. So I'm kind of like one of your children podcasting with you here today as well, to be honest. But it's good to be back. Hello, fam. How's everybody doing?
Everybody's good. We have friends here. Lovable Nikki is here. Happy that the trio as you would say, Chris, is back together. Hello, Chris. I'm excited for this live too, even though I have absolutely no idea where I put the people in the middle. We're going to be having some debates, and it's going to be, for me, it's going to be flexible because there's 2 episodes. So there's 2 points of data that we kind of have to put together and seeing, are we judging it on how they're going to move forward or up until this point? And so it is definitely going to be movement, I believe, going on from my original list. But just saying. Hi, Lauren. Hollis is here. We're here, all here for a good time. Yes, the Holy Trinity. It's here. Did you see that Zach also has a new podcast?
Yes.
What?
I heard about that.
Literally.
Who's listening?
I mean, I did pull, I saw a couple of clips on YouTube, and
he has clips already?
Well, I guess maybe somebody clipped, or the person that he's working with clipped. But he does talk about some interesting things, sort of.
So it's an actual challenge podcast. It's not about fitness or how much protein bars you need to eat to lift, or
him on the challenge.
All right.
It's about everything, I think.
I was just going to say, a whole podcast about him on the challenge. How many seasons will that go for?
I mean, isn't he coming back? No, he's not coming back, but he was rumored to come back, correct?
He was open to it. I think he was wanting to come back.
Hi, Sam. Gregory. Patricia's here. Oh, I'm so happy because this is a very different day than we usually go live. Usually on Fridays or Saturdays. So on Monday, we are definitely on different times here. Level Mickey's not happy being called children. Drew is not my daddy.
That is true.
Hey, Drew's my daddy.
All right.
Jorge wants to know, Chris, if you like Zach.
Yeah, I'm so excited for this podcast. Can't wait.
Okay, well, there's a lot of other people to say hi to, but know that we appreciate everybody being here and supporting the 3 of us as we do this first power ranking. So we're not going to be doing power rankings every week. We're going to be probably doing it every 2 or 3 weeks. I think there'll be 4 in total, most likely. And so today is the first one. Chris, you're obviously invited to come back to any and all of them. All would probably be the best. But let's just start. Okay.
Yeah, well, as long as my schedule allows, I'll be here for as many as I can because I always love talking to both of you. Yay! So yeah.
Well, I mean, before actually we start, what do we think about the first 2 episodes of the season? So we've had 2 episodes. Yesterday was the second. Chris, you probably didn't realize that there was a lot of weird things going on because there was golf that was pushing the challenge on CBS an hour and 15 minutes ahead. But I was able to watch it on time in Canada because on the channel it didn't have golf or or 60 minutes. So Chris, Andrew, how'd you guys find these first 2 episodes?
For me personally, I've enjoyed it, to be honest. The first episode for me was, obviously I hate whenever we finish an episode on a non-elimination. So that really annoyed me, but we then got back into action with the second episode. And I think you need to look at episode 1 and 2 as like that part 1 and part 2 of the premiere, right? So if you look at them together, combined, we still got the satisfaction out of seeing 2 people go back. I love the fact that the newbies coming into this game, I was high on it the whole World Championship, that they put up a fight. They didn't make it easy on the vets. I'm again high up on the fact that they're going to try and play their own game this season, and they're going to make it very difficult for the vets to get to the end. And I will give this little hot take out there. If any of the vets make it to the final this season, I'm willing to say that they definitely earned their legendary status, because I don't think it's going to be easy. It's not going to be easy to get to the end. These are high caliber players that they brought
even
in.
if it's Josh?
Yeah, even if it's Josh. Like, you know what, Josh? I don't know what it is, man. I'm softening up on the guy. I'm not going to go too hard on him yet.
So is Cassidy, seemingly.
Yeah, well,
did you see that preview?
No, I did not.
Right, you must have seen it, Drew.
I saw it.
There was a hot tub scene where they must have had a couple of bevies, and Josh was looking mighty cute to Cassidy to saddle up to. So interesting. Drew, how'd you feel? You seemed bewildered by golf.
I hated it so much. I'm already an old man, but I've been getting over a sickness for the past week. And so when I started out the day, I was like, whoa, the episode's on at 9. That's incredible. I'll go to bed at 10, get like 8 hours. And then I'm up by 6 doing nope, it's 11. It was like, what the heck? This sucks. Like, I hate golf. It's the worst. And not only golf, it was 60 minutes. It's like, who watches this dinosaur of a garbage show anymore? Like, anybody who is a fan of this is gone and buried in the earth. Like, just get this off our TVs. Anyways, I loved the 2 episodes. They were really great together. They were action-packed. I thought the first episode was going really quickly when I knew it was going to end on a cliffhanger. And then I did not expect to hit a second elimination last night. So that was a huge, like, double whammy. And of course, who goes home, I was pretty upset with. But I was just kind of bewildered by how everything went.
I agree.
I just want to say one thing, Chantele. I just want to say one thing. I saw your comment there, Gregory Washington, and I agree with you. You're saying that I now have given up my Cassidy stand card for the hot tub scene with Josh. So maybe people will come to the Gabler train with me in the future now. This might be the best thing that has happened to Gabler in a very, very long time, Chantele.
Wait.
People
so you
finally
think that this whole move, it legitimizes Gabler's win?
No. It's just there's so many Cassidy stands online that keep going for Gabler. So maybe they'll cool off a little bit and they're going to be like, ooh, we don't know about like going all in on Cassidy now, because she is hooking up with Josh.
But like, it might be good for her game. Like,
it could be, yeah. Listen,
and he's been working out.
Eat.
He probably looks swole, as the kids say. So for me, I was a little bit underwhelmed by the first episode. Obviously cliffhanger is really annoying. I was annoyed that the rookies didn't take their shot in their first episode. I was like, what the heck? Like, you have to start from the beginning. Like, you can't lay on them. Like, you can't let up, or these vets are going to be able to get control. And so I was a little disappointed that didn't happen the first episode. And then we didn't get a finalizing of the episode. I was like, oh. But then yesterday's episode, like the second episode, was excellent. Like, it was probably one of the best episodes of the challenge that I've seen in a few seasons. Like, it was really, really good. I think for the fact that we got a conclusion of, like, we didn't need to have the elimination blend over, but we had the elimination. Then I was like, oh my God, are we going to start a new stupid trend of like not finishing the episode and having the elimination at the beginning of the next one? But then we didn't. And then we see the rookies come together and they overtake the vets. And it's the first time in a long time that I'm seeing the vets literally shaking in their boots and was not knowing what to do. I'm just like, whoa, this is so fun. There's finally a battle. There's finally a challenge. And so I'm really happy that this season has taken off in the way that it has. And maybe they had like a not as successful, in my opinion, first episode, so that the episode 2 really delivered. So maybe it was
I just want to add to that, like, and I know we don't want to go on too long before we actually get into the rankings, but I will say this: everybody knows how much I love it when the newbies come in and they challenge the vets. But the numbers are so uneven this season. Like the vets have only got 6 people. Well, technically, the MTV vets, there's more. There's more than that. Obviously, there's a couple of hidden sort of assassins sitting within the newbies that have also played the main show. But
like MTV
I would much rather
see.
Yeah, I would much rather see a balanced cast where it's like half MTV, half CBS newbies, so we can see a fair battle. I will give that little bit of criticism out there, even though I do love it that the newbies are taking the game to the vets.
Well, I mean, I understand. I can see, like, for fairness wise, but I also think that MTV shouldn't even be on it at all. So, like, I do feel like I would have enjoyed it equally as much if it was just the CBS players that were learning how to play this game, and like it wasn't against MTV. It was just CBS being able to get their ground, or their footing. So that's how ideally I would have preferred it if it just stayed within the CBS bubble. And then if they wanted to do whatever they're going to do for global, if they do another global thing or another kind of spinoff, then maybe go against MTV. But I felt that for the CBS version, it should have just stayed CBS personally. But I hear your point, though.
I think it's very interesting because, Chris, you pointed out that there are people that have played a lot of seasons on MTV that are just originated from CBS. Like they could be looked at as more of MTV property people because they've shown up way more on MTV shows than, say, the CBS show, the one CBS show that they did. So I find it interesting, and I think that really leads into my power rankings of those players because it seems like they have the best of both worlds. They got to play, they got the experience, but now they're not even looked at, it seems like, as any real threats because the 6 OG MTV people are the ones that have all the targets on them, while the Fessels and the Joshes and the Michelles can kind of play both ends, or not even play both ends. Well, Josh and Fessel will. Michelle's fully in with the rookies.
I'll take this, Natalie. I'd do that job. Definitely. Well, we got our feelings about the first 2 episodes. How do we feel about our number 24 placing here? Who do we have in that position? Chris, since you're new here.
Yeah, since I'm new, I only did from 22nd to 1st, but okay. 24, I would say Amira, obviously, she was completely out of her depth coming into this game. A little bit unlucky, I will say, in the sense that probably, she didn't find her feet quickly enough, didn't react to the game. Probably, I feel like there maybe was a little bit of passiveness from her side where she didn't get allies on the team that was sort of going to decide who was going to go in. Even though she did have Alyssa Snyder that wanted to look out for her, that was one person. She probably, I would say it's a mix of unluckiness and also just being green to the game. She got found out, and then again, it was a close elimination between her and Michelle, which you have got to give her credit for because Michelle has done this before. But, you can only place her last. She did end up going out first as well.
Drew, do you contest this or agree?
No, you have to agree since she was the first one out. She came in with her Big Brother people, and I think it was unfortunate that it wasn't... her team was out ahead and then they lost, and then going into it, the red team and the blue team make an alliance, and then she just so happened to be less social than maybe some of the other players, or wasn't as favorable looked at as some of the other players that were on either team or on the green team. And so it just, like Chris said, she was just super unlucky. I mean, unlucky, or just, I would say it's unlucky, because then even going into the elimination, the votes were 12 to 4 for women having 4 votes in, and there was 12 votes on the men, and then it still came out to be Michelle, and it's just it's kind of wild. It's really wild the way everything went, but she must have left an imprint on at least TJ, who was like hopes to see her coming back soon. So
obviously I have her in this position as well. I did listen to her on Rob as a podcast, her exit interview, and she did say that Team Green was always going to be coming together to go after the vets. It just so happens that the beginning of the season, like they didn't have power, but like they would have started the precedent. And she felt that the people on blue had more rookies that were not necessarily going to go against the vets, and so it just was an unlucky draw for her, basically, like timing wise, because like even if like it was this whole happened like the second week or second episode, like she might not have been the person that they picked because they already set a precedent of going after the vets. So yeah, it was just kind of unlucky timing for her, but unfortunate, because she said that she trained hard to come onto the show. Like she was working out and she wanted to be there, and she kind of got her time cut short because basically they have one day when they get there, they do their partying, and the next day they're into the first challenge. So she would have liked to spend more time getting to know people and kind of building alliances and building people that potentially would protect her. So yeah, that was her critique. But she's numero 24. Okay. Drew, who do you have in your 23 position?
I mean, I hate to say it, and I'm thinking you did this on purpose, but I have to say Chantele, because she was eliminated via Tori. This hurts. I mean, I didn't think it would happen this soon, but I do have to say I do love the gameplay. I love the way the rookies are coming in, stamping their feet on the grounds, and taking it to the vets and making them sweat a little bit. I really never seen Wes that nervous before. So I'm still surprised by it, but yeah, I have to put Chantele at 23.
Clearly I have her here as well. I have one question for both of you. Why do you think she felt compelled to put her ball onto Michelle? Like, she didn't need to do that at this time. And she probably still would have been voted into elimination, but maybe Michelle would have not wanted her to go in. You know what I mean? So I'm just curious your guys' thoughts there with that.
Drew may have more answers later on, because I saw there may be something coming up in the future where we may get some of those answers, Drew. But from my end, looking at it, it looked like sloppy gameplay. Like to this early in the game, do friendly fire for someone that potentially has played the challenge before, that already feels on the outs with some of these MTV players when they've played in the past. That was never going to put Michelle at ease. You know, if you wanted to potentially work with some of those undercover agents that are from the MTV show as well, that have played more, like even Michelle now has played more more challenge than Survivor. There is a case to be made to try and get her in with the vets. So I just personally didn't understand it. And if she didn't end up going home this week, she would have gone home next week. I thought that she kind of sunk her game very early on. Michelle's very smart. She did the numbers very quickly. She came from a game where she needed to be good with the numbers. That's how she got to the final twice. So to try and pull the wool over Michelle's head this early on, when Michelle's got so many friends in the game, I did not like that move from Janae. And before you go away from me and go to Drew, because Drew might have a little bit of insight, so we might not want to talk about it as of yet. I also wanted to say, you know, Tori obviously is a beast, but man, she made Janae look really average in that elimination, to the point where I even messaged Chantele afterwards and I asked her, did Tori just cancel Janae? Did she just retire Janae from the challenge with that performance? Because she manhandled her. Or woman handled.
I don't. So Janae doesn't make it like, she makes it apparent that physical eliminations aren't necessarily her thing. Like, she loved All Stars because a lot of it was puzzles and everything. So to her, that's like her bread and butter. Whereas I really wish the eliminations would have been switched. I wish that we would have gotten Michelle and Amira kind of like trying to put balls in a hoop and play Plinko, and then see Tori and Janae splash around. I think that would have been a little bit more of an equal playing field when it comes to Janae and Tori. But I was listening to Janae on the MTV Challenge Official podcast this morning, and she said that she was getting in really good with Big Brother, whereas I want to say Tori was getting in good with Survivor, which we saw happening in this episode with at least one Survivor player. Gross. But anyways,
the Australian mullet holder.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, apparently they were like trying to work opposite sides of the house. And so she was thinking that, okay, well, I'm looking so far ahead into the game that she wasn't looking at even the very few steps like right in front of her. So she said that that was her fault, that she wanted to take out somebody that she was worried about, especially since Wes gave her that advice of not trusting her. So she said that she kind of got too much in her head and overthought everything. And that's why she decided to put her ball on Michelle instead of just going the easy route and putting it on whoever they were going for.
Anybody else,
time.
though, that would have really helped her, I think.
Yeah.
Thank you, Rodrigo, for the super chat. Rodrigo says she is gone, but it will always be Janae all day. Love a strong mom coming to play the challenge. Yes, I mean, I do appreciate what Janae has done on All Stars. Winning 2 seasons back to back, no easy feat, but now she's playing with people that are around her age. And so it's just interesting that she hasn't been as successful with people that are in her age bracket. Just saying.
Listen, this is no hate to Janae. I love Janae, but she was
played
definitely
poorly
off the
in these
pace.
last 2 seasons. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very poorly. Okay, so now things start to get difficult. So the next person, the person I have in my number 22 spot is probably gonna be shocking to many, but he's on the red team, and the red team has not been doing well. He's also had many people nominating him for elimination. He evaded elimination, but he is still the number 1 target, the name on everybody's lips. I don't know if he's going to be able to come from going in next episode. I have Johnny Bananas in my 22nd spot.
What? My number 1 draft pick? Why are you doing this to me? No, actually, I am very worried for Bananas. I came into the episode 1 live recap and review that myself and Kahuna did on the Nullify Take channel. Sort of very fearful. Like, Kahuna tried to put my mind at ease that there is still hope for Bananas. He's a crafty bugger. He's been around for a long time, but I had him at number 21 on my power ranking. Right. So we're kind of in the same ballpark. I'm really worried for him. He is coming in as the biggest target, as the person that have won more than anybody else on the history of the show. These are players that all want to win their first championship. They do not want to go up against someone that's got that experience. I found the conversation that happened in Wes's team very interesting when they said, listen, Wes, you're giving us all these great insights on how to do these challenges and how to game them or how to be better at them. And immediately they said, Bananas is doing the same thing for the other side. So we want to eliminate... Yeah, we have to weaken them. We have to eliminate the strength that the other teams have, and that goes with the experience. I think Bananas, for him to get to the end of this season, he's going to have one of the best seasons he's ever had in his life, and he's going to have to go into the eliminations more than once, and he's going to have to win his way to the end. So very worried for him. I agree with this power ranking.
Drew, you're going to come... Well, depending on where you have Bananas, you might upset this, or...
I mean, I'm cool with it. I'll be honest. I did not fully understand the 24, 1 through 24. I ranked it men and women on side by sides.
Oh, okay.
So I'm kind of just like going with it.
Okay,
now, but
that's fine. I mean, I didn't even think about it in that way because the last time we did it, it was in pairs. And so, but then this is in like teams. And so anyway, I just did it solo. But I guess we should have clarified.
Cool. No, I'm okay with this. I'm okay with this ranking. I still kind of feel like Lewis, even though he wins, I think that Lewis and Dusty just seem a little bit out of sorts right now. I don't know if they've gotten their footing right. Dusty didn't do so hot in the first daily or the second daily, it seemed like, while Bananas was flinging through those toothpicks like he was a monkey or something. So
where do you have Bananas?
That's where... I have him right ahead of Dusty and Lewis. So it's like,
okay,
it's only 2 spots. He's pretty much this low. I have him this low on my rankings for the men. Like, we can keep him here.
Who do you have Chris then at your 21 spot?
So who did I have at your 21?
I had
21. Who did I have at my 22nd spot?
Oh, sorry, 22nd spot. Sorry, that's what I meant.
So this person, I don't know where they're going to come up on the list. I had Amanda right at the bottom because I feel like Amanda. Yes, she's getting a big edit right now. She's willing to take risks, but I feel like Amanda's going to burn her hand. She's playing with fire. She's coming at Michelle directly. At some point, there is going to be a conclusion to that. I think Michelle has got more friends in the house. I think Amanda is not insulated at all. And the fact that she's not showing loyalty to the vets means that the vets are not going to protect her either. Wes needed an ally in this last episode to stand up with him and fight like Tori did with Corey in the first episode. And Amanda couldn't care less about who was going in there. She did not put her neck on the line for any of the vets. So I don't think the newbies like her because Michelle doesn't like her. And I don't think the vets like her because she's not showing loyalty to the vets. So I really feel like Amanda, for me personally, should be ranked at the bottom.
I had Amanda quite high this episode. And
that's why I said to you, Chantele, coming in, this is going to, I've just had a feeling like we're going to have opposite rankings on some of these things.
We might have to do like an average or something. So like, I know that Amanda, is polarizing. But she was just on the winning team. She was able to get across, which a lot of the other women weren't able to do. And so I was taking heavy into consideration that her team won. She was part of the success for her team. She also got one of the people that she doesn't like or get along with to go into elimination twice, basically, that being Tori and Michelle. And so I just feel as though maybe, 2 episodes from now, she might not be in a good place, but I feel like for these 2 episodes, she's kind of been doing decently well. Drew, why are you laughing?
I'm just reading. Yeah. We're wild cards.
Okay.
Oh,
so
just wait. This is the beginning. This is the beginning of the weird rankings. George A, you're going to see a lot more of them coming. Brace yourself.
I mean, okay. So I had Amanda.
I have Amanda over Bananas. So I feel like we should just keep Bananas at 22nd.
Okay. So keep Bananas at 22nd. And then I can, well, I still think that Amanda should be higher than 21. Because I think that she's
okay with that.
Stronger than Lewis and Will. Lewis and Monty and Dusty. Like, I feel like she's not, like, I feel like the blue team is stronger and that she's going to be able to do a little bit better that way.
It's possible. It's possible.
So
I mean,
22nd is Bananas. That's fine by me. Where do you have? Okay, so my 21 was Dusty. So where do you have Dusty?
I have Dusty low.
Dusty is 17 for me. So it's
17?
kind of low.
That's pretty low, but why so high? He's had he's had so many, he's had his ball, like people put his ball in. He didn't do well on the daily challenge. He's on Team Red Flag. I don't know if Team Red Flag is going to like win anything. They haven't won anything yet. I don't know. Like, how is he doing well? I don't even know if he got a confessional.
I don't look at anybody that is from 16th and below is like my lower bracket. I looked at it like brackets, and he's definitely in the lower bracket. But I, again, like for reasons that I mentioned with Amanda, I feel very low on Amanda strategically. Dusty, we just haven't seen enough of Dusty for me at this stage because I know that he's good at the endurance stuff. Yes, he didn't do well.
But that's just like crossing our fingers that he's going to be able to get there. Like, I feel like all the vets are going to put their balls on people that they potentially can beat. And so chances are he's going to be in the mix all the time. And eventually his ball is going to be pulled. And I just have more faith in the vets beating him when his number is called, literally. So I don't know. I just 17. It was fucking high.
Well, listen. We're talking about the challenge here where Jay Starrett beat CT in an elimination. So I don't know how much we're going to be putting.
So this is all hopes and dreams for rankings.
No, this is all. This is all based on fact. When we're looking at the board, the way that it's laid out right now strategically, he's a newbie. I don't think he's on the target list for all of the newbies that are out there. So yeah, he could potentially go in.
Okay,
and obviously
but he got
with the
balls
hopper,
both times. He got 2 balls on the first
Yeah.
elimination, and he got 3 balls the second elimination. So I would
Yeah.
assume that this will be a trend that he will always be getting balls put in because people are not afraid of going against him.
Yeah. And again, like I said, for me, from 16th to 22nd is the lower bracket of rankings for me. So I feel less like I'm feeling like he's in the bracket where he deserves to be. I don't care if he's 21st or 16th. For me, it's all kind of the same. But when you're asking why is he so high, I do think there is still upside on someone like Dusty. I feel higher on him than I feel on Louis, for instance, who I did rank just ahead of him because I feel like Louis
He's
has
on the green
Lewis.
team.
He's on the green team for sure, but I do feel like with Lewis,
and he has
can
more friends, I think, in my opinion, Lewis, because he has Alyssa L that's really protecting him, and I think that he's Alyssa is going to bring him into anything that Big Brother's doing. We see that Alyssa's in that alliance with Tiffany, and so I do feel that strategically, like, yes, Dusty has Lewis, but Lewis has a lot of other branches, and so I definitely think that Lewis is in a better position than Dusty. And he also won.
So if you're a vet right now, would you want to try and get Lewis on your side that has all these newbie people that loves him out there? Or would you go for someone like Dusty, who's been a fan of the show since day one, who looks up to people like Bananas?
They haven't been throwing Lewis in. They haven't put his ball in. A, because he won. And B, because the last time he was actually put into elimination. So
yeah. I think that people like Bananas and Wes are going to look for allies. They need, how are these vets going to get to the end? Who's more likely to work with them, Lewis or Dusty? The person who's watched the show for longer potentially may want a fanboy, they may know that, hey, if I get in with Bananas and Wes, I'll be back on with the next season. So I do feel like there is an argument to be made for Dusty not to be this low.
Okay, I can move him up 1 notch at this point, but Drew, what do you think?
I'll take it. It's a win.
I'll be honest. I feel like we're arguing semantics for two players that are very similar, and I have them ranked pretty much one after another.
About Lewis and Dusty.
Dusty, yes. So it's like I'm cool with putting them 21 and 20. At this point, I'm cool with either one of them going this way.
Chris has multiple people.
Have a look at Austin. Have a look at Austin's comment there. That's what I'm talking about, Austin. Banana said that the only person that tried to pregame with him was Dusty.
That's true, but he didn't respond.
But I don't think Dusty would take it personal either. So I think Dusty, even if Bananas is like, we're in trouble, Wes just told me we're going to have our asses handed to us, I think that Dusty would work with him.
That's a good point, though, Austin, to be fair, that he's looking to play the game. So maybe there's some strategy going on that we're not seeing. Maybe him being on the red team, which is a team that's really willing to work with the blue team. Maybe he'll be influenced to work with the vets and put himself in a little bit of a better position. All right, but I'll move him up a bit. So Chris, though, then who do you have at your, 19 position?
So the 19th position for me is someone that I think people are going to hate.
We haven't talked about your 20th yet, have we?
Yeah, people are going to hate this as well. But that's okay. I love this person. They're a challenge vet. They've done a lot in the game, but I'm not going on what will happen if, in fact, no, let's go all in on this. I've put Wes on 20th, basically. For me. So
okay.
Very, very low.
This is out of control.
Yeah,
this is out of control. Who invited you here?
Let's be honest. Let's be honest. You invited me for the spicy takes. I have to keep you guys honest.
Because so far I'm still trying to figure out where to put Amanda because I have her in the top tier for these 2 episodes, and then also I have Wes up there as well because he was on the winning team. He was coaching his people to be able to get to the finish line, allowing them to win. He does have the intel. It seems like his team wants to keep him in the game, and yes, it sucks that he wasn't able to have influence, but it doesn't seem like his team is out to get him. His team hates him. His team wants to get him in. And so I feel like he's going to do, he's still going to be fine.
His team wants him. Right. The rest of the teams don't want him there.
But nobody else has really said his name. Has he been a vote? He's been a vote in the first elimination.
Yeah.
He got 2.
Yeah. Not yet.
I
Not
have
yet.
him like
And
at number 5. Okay, like
maybe I'm
like,
approaching. Maybe I'm approaching this rankings in the sense where it's not just about the performance in the first 2 episodes, but also where they're sitting strategically on the table moving forward in the game. Do I think my power rankings are strategically put in a way where I think, can these people win this season? And like I said, coming into this thing, if any of the vets win this season, Wes
you'll eat your
included, it will
words. Oh
be.
my god, you're gonna say
I'll
eat
eat
some
my.
words.
I'll
I
eat.
think.
Listen, I'm more than happy to eat humble pie. Plus, for those that are hating on me in the live, I would be happy if Wes won because I'm a big Wes fan. This is not about me proving my standum towards Wes. This is about me thinking, where does he sit currently? Does he have allies and people in the house that wants to work with him? He's just lost Janae in the game. She's someone that he can work with. Bananas is someone he's very close with. Bananas being under fire, we both agree that Bananas should be at 22nd, 21st, however low we want to put them. That being his ride or die, which he's told us on the screen, this is my ride or die. This is the guy I'm batting for. If he falls next, if Bananas falls next, Wes is gonna go down with the ship. He's not gonna make it to the end. And if you say, oh, well, Wes can win eliminations, Wes has got such a great elimination record. Well, he's been known to mess up a few times in recent seasons against people that he shouldn't have lost against. So I don't feel confident that Wes is going to make it deep in this game. If he does, I'll eat my words. But this is a season where these vets are going to get targeted very early on. We always say, why do people not target the CTs of this world, the Wesses of this world early on? Just keep throwing them into eliminations as many times as you can. They're at some stage, their luck is going to run out. They're going to lose an elimination, and you're not going to have to run against them in the final. None of these rookies want to run against West in the final. And they've already identified that the vets are coaches. They're the ones that are going to help coach their teams through it. If Bananas falls next, Chantele, do you really think that they're going to let West slide his way to the final when this is a team game and suddenly like, well, we lost our coach. How can we not take a shot at your coach next? It is going to happen. It's going to be a dominoes effect. That is my case for Wes being this low.
Drew,
let's go, Cash Wash. Let's go.
Drew.
So I want to throw this out there. And I know how fervent these rookies are of getting these vets out. But I want to say we have seen this fervor before. And it kind of dies out, especially when other targets start to pop up and start to fight with each other. Right now, the rookies are kumbaya against the vets. But think of, okay, Bananas goes and then say Amanda goes. Now there's only like 4 or 3 vets left. Is the whole house still going to be targeting the 3 vets that are left in this game? Or is some new threat going to be popping up? And I just have a feeling that there's going to be other people popping up that are going to get on other people's nerves, to where some vets will get to be able to slip through the cracks or get to move on to doing something else. The way I put my list together is I took into account where they are in the game, but if they were to be sent into elimination, who do I think could come out on top of an elimination and who I think could they beat in elimination? So I don't have Wes low, even though his social status in the game or his standings in the game may be lower. I put people that I think he could beat in an elimination if he were to be sent into elimination lower than him. So I have him actually mid-tier right now. I wouldn't necessarily put him this low, if it's in my opinion.
So mid-tier is what kind of number for you?
Right smack dab in the middle of the men, basically.
Middle of the men. Oh, right. So which would potentially be like 12-ish?
Yeah, sure.
Like, yeah, with the men and women.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if I could have Wes be at number, like, beside Dusty here, because I have more faith in, like, I love Amazing Race. I know people are just like, oh my God, you're like Amazing Race. I watch Amazing Race. I want them. I wish they had a better showing of people that are from that show, so they had a little bit more power. But I just don't necessarily see the Amazing Race people being able to get all the way to the end and winning. I think it just will be just a tough road for them. You have Wes, so maybe Wes can go. This is like insane to me.
Be ready. It's going to continue.
I had him high, so let's just do a law of averages. So I had him at 5 because I'm taking into consideration the fact that he was on the winning team and that I think that they will continue to win. They have that momentum, I feel. And so that's why I had him so high. Like, I basically had all Team Green higher up just because they won most recently, you know? I
just
do
did a
hear
quick
both your points.
I just did a quick calculation, so it would be 12 would be the average of the three of our
12?
positions. Yep.
Okay, I'm okay with West being
Wow.
in 12.
Yeah, that's fine.
Wow.
I mean, listen, I think
I like
coming
this,
into this,
though.
like I said, I would love to be wrong. This is one of those cases where even though I'm passionate about where I think he is currently in the game, it doesn't mean like I'm with you, Angel Cake. If I see other people down the line messing up, which I haven't seen yet because 70% of the cast we have not seen their gameplay. We don't, and that's the people that I'm finding the hardest to rank. They're all sitting sort of in my middle somewhere because they haven't done anything wrong yet for me to say, well, they're playing a horrible game. Wes's game we've seen. That could be positive or negative. It could be because he's there long term or he's going next.
Well, also we taking this into account too. People who go into eliminations can change teams. So think if like Bananas, now that he's like the only vet left, if he goes into an elimination and somehow comes out with a win, if he swaps out with a rookie on a different team and then the red team continues to lose, they can't really, a rookie will have to go into elimination. Like that's the best way to circumvent like the whole throwing vets in every single, like he could still get balls put into the hopper, but one person is definitely going into elimination from the losing team. So if anybody switches off and all the vets are just I don't remember what it's called, mutiny or something, whatever, they just jump ship.
Defecting.
Yeah, they jump ship off the team and run. Yeah. So I think that's a factor into it too.
What was your ranking for Dusty, Angel Cake? Sorry, what was your ranking for Dusty?
Low. I don't know.
Give me a number.
Rankings are all screwed up. They're low.
Give me a number so I can quickly figure out the average.
Why don't you weave them in together?
I had him at 11th for the men out of 12, so it was low.
Okay, so that's
be 20th or something like that.
Where we are.
Yeah.
One thing that I was thinking when I did my recap was that maybe all the vets will try to get on a team together, because at least then if they lose, like it's going to be the same if they lose, but if they win, they have a lot more power. So I was thinking that if they go down and they win, it'd be time to get all the vets or as many vets as possible on the same team so that they can gain a little bit of control if they are able to win. So I'm hoping that that's what's going to happen in the future, so they can figure out a way to use their numbers. You know what I mean? Because they have so few. So we'll see if that happens. Rodrigo with a super chat here saying Amanda is top 5 hands down. Mic drop. She had the best performance, best confessional, best entertainment. We did rank her most entertaining player this week. I know a lot of people have been hating on Amanda, thinking that she's too much, but I think she's doing what she's always done, and she gets under people's skin, and people let her. And I'm like, go for it. Go for it.
I love Amanda, by the way. I love what she brings to the show. This is not about, like I said, this is not about me being a fan. This is about me thinking, can they get to the end and win the game? So I'm low on Amanda for her chances to do that.
It's true.
But entertainment-wise, love what she's bringing to the show.
So let's do our average for Amanda. So I had her at like a 9, I think.
You had a 9. I had a 22nd, and then Drew.
Ish.
I had her 6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. So that's 14th. About 14th, I'd say. Divided by 3, that's 15th overall.
Okay, I can handle with like the rationale of moving Amanda to 15. Okay. Sorry, I'm just updating these things.
We're workshopping this live, guys. I've got the calculator out. They should have known, everyone, that if they bring me in here, I'm coming to swing for the fences. I'm going to come mess up some rankings.
Well, I mean, it's actually perfect because I didn't really know how to fully place everybody. So this is perfect that we're able to hear all points and then make a concerted decision after and come to a consensus. So, okay. So right now we have, let's pull it up here. So Amira is in 24.
Yes.
We have obviously Janae. She's going to be in 23. We have Bananas in 22. Dusty in 21. Who do we have in 20? Because I got Paulie in 20.
Dang.
That's low for him at this point. I think, again, for me coming into this show, I was happy to have Paulie back because I feel like we need that Paulie energy. I feel like we need the counter fight against the power structures that be. But now, Paulie coming into the season, he's looking very vanilla. Outside of obviously his wardrobe, that's definitely not vanilla. But what he brings from an entertainment value, being the person that's going to go up against the vets or anything like that, he hasn't really done much wrong. I expected him to come into the season like with the turbo energy, saying, throw me into every elimination, I'll take you all out, because that's what he's been saying to us for years now on podcasts. When he comes back, he will throw himself down there every single time to prove to all the haters that he's one of the best to ever compete. He's not done that. He's actually come in and he's done what Paulie does. He's trying to work the strategy side. He's trying to socially get in better with Josh. He isn't Team Hot Mess 100%. But, can he keep it up based on the performance I've seen so far? He's doing well. I don't know how he's going to do in the future. And I know we're talking about the future quite a bit here, but I actually had him really high. And I was a bit shocked when I did my ranking on him. I actually had him 9th overall for this because I've not seen red flags yet at all to show me that he's going to go early. The only thing that I will mention is that in this last challenge where they had to swing from one end of the podium to the other end, when he fell down, I heard people say in a little voiceover on the side, Paulie just fell, but he's strong. He shouldn't have fell. Almost like they were insinuating that he was throwing it, which could not be good for him in the future. And I didn't take that into consideration when I did my ranking, but I just haven't seen enough bad for Paulie at this stage. For me, him being boring
right now, like
is good for
you're
him.
ranking
It's good for him.
Paulie on his chat from preseason, like not from what he's done on this episode, other than start to dress.
He's not
like
done anything
Cara
wrong.
Maria. Is that what it is? It's because you love Cara Maria so much,
No,
and he's dressing like Cara Maria now with what you call it,
Now I'm in love with
his
Paulie.
wombat fur. Like that's why you're ranking him high, because he has not done anything.
Yeah, but what has he
he's
done
lost.
wrong?
He's lost. He's lost twice. He's on the red team, and the red team has lost twice, and he's had people put his ball in there, so they're willing to lose him or go up against him. People are not scared of putting his ball into the elimination hopper. So I just think all the red team, I just think they're all low tier for sure. They've lost two out of 2 challenges so far, and he's supposed to be this challenge beast, and he's amazing, and he's going to get to the end and win. Well, he's got to win something, and so far he has not won anything. So I cannot have him in my top half of this. Are you kidding? No way. No way.
I just don't. Yeah, you go ahead, Angel Cake.
Well, I was just gonna say, I think Paulie deserves to be higher than some of the other people that we haven't mentioned yet. I think that Paulie's in a unique position. Kind of like what we were saying before starting the power rankings, like with Josh and Fessel, that they have played multiple MTV, but because they originate on like Big Brother and Survivor, that they are actually like looked at as like the in-betweens that can kind of go back and forth. I mean, he's getting good with like Bananas and Wes won't target him because they need him. They need him. Because they need numbers, and then he can easily go with Amanda and some of the other players because, hey, I don't like these guys. I have a track record of screwing these people over or wanting to get them out. So, I mean, he has options. And so to me, I can't put him like below, like, say, a Lewis who has possibly almost gone into an elimination and hasn't really done a whole lot in daily challenges, as well as I can't believe Alyssa S hasn't been said yet, since we're like jamming everybody together. I just can't believe Alyssa S hasn't been mentioned when I don't think that she's
star player on your team.
Not the star player on my team because she hasn't done anything, but she hasn't done any. She hasn't done well in the dailies, and then she's less in the talks when you go to like Chanel, Desi, and Tiffany, and then when Michelle was talking to Alyssa L. But she's not in the conversations. Where is she?
Well, and we know that she's going to be making out with Tyler, so she's sticking around for a while. We haven't not seen Paulie in these previews, so
we're supposed to talk about the trailer and predict the future when talking about our power rankings. Doing.
Chris is predicting the future with like who's going to win or get to the final, who's going to win the season. So we are.
No, I'm looking at I'm looking at socially. I'm looking at socially where they're sitting, who are the people they can work with strategically. I think I'm looking at it from a strategic sense, and I'm definitely not like I get it. They've lost 2 in a row, but we don't know that every single team challenge is going to be exactly the same like the first two that they've just had. Like, it's not to say that the rec team is not going to be able to get things together. So I refuse to believe that he's done anything wrong at this stage to put him that low. Now, how he's going to do when he gets into elimination, that's a big question, and I can give you that because we have seen Paulie in eliminations before, like way back, and he wasn't necessarily the greatest at it. So maybe that is a weakness where he gets thrown into someone and he does end up going home very early on. But so
you're ranking Paulie on like fingers crossing and like a dream. Okay. So you had him at what, like 11? What was it?
9th. So yeah, I think he's definitely higher than 20th. Yeah, I think you're ranking him based on.
I have him just below. I have him just below Wes. So 7th out of 12th for men.
So that would have been
wherever we put Wes, just put him right behind Wes because that's probably where I would put him.
Okay. Well, we don't have Wes to be. Oh, we determined Wes at 12, so having him at 13.
13 would have been about it. So
okay,
I'll do a quick average here.
I love Joanne coming in saying, "I'm so sorry I missed this here now, but y'all are probably rounding up, right?"
14th.
And Sam,
14th.
And Sam is just like, "Nope, just started." We're about 4 people in.
Wes. So Wes is at what again? Wes was at 12. Sorry, I'm changing wrong things.
Yeah, so Paulie's average would be 14th.
Okay. I don't know if I agree with this, but we'll let it go for now. Okay, so Paulie's going to 14. This will all make sense after. The numbers might end up changing just from placement wise, but we'll put them there for now. Okay, Paulie's at 14. So Chris, then, since apparently people are enjoying your chaos, and who did you have at 19?
I feel like I'm gonna call. Here's the crazy thing: the fact that we're fighting this hard for the bottom people, I don't even want to know what it's gonna get like when we get to the top people.
I mean, I don't. My top people might not even be there. They're gonna be in like
all in the bottom
11.
This will shape the middle people, basically. That's what's happening. We're all just like fighting to see who gets bumped up to the middle group because that's the hardest way to determine.
This is actually, it's been very helpful because I was having a lot of trouble putting it in an order. So
all right, I'm gonna rip the band-aid on this one, Chantele. I'm just gonna rip the band-aid. I've got number 19. I've got Cassidy, and the reason I've got Cassidy this low is because I believe performance-wise, she has been found out a little bit early on in this season. So the first challenge where they had to run and they had to do like this mini final type of thing where they had to pull this thing up on the hill, she was complaining about, wow, I didn't realize it was going to be this difficult and I still need to go up this hill to get to the end. So she was already struggling there. And then in this performance, in the last daily, she ended up falling down very easily after trying to get from one side to the other side. So I feel like when it comes to the challenge side of it, she was good at immunity challenges and Survivor. It's not translating over to the game at the moment. The counter argument that I could see for her is with her performances the way it is now, I don't think the newbies will be fearful of going up against her at the end. So she could get dragged to the end if we're looking at hypothetically what could happen in the future. But performance-wise, I feel like she is being found out right now in the game. And I feel like she's behind the pace.
Well, I have Cassidy right now at 14. I gave her a bump up for being on a winning team, and choosing a winning team that first episode. Also, I gave her a little bit of credit for the fact that she has not had anybody put her name into the hopper. And so that's why I put her at 14. I can let her drop a little bit, but I feel like she's well placed at around here.
Yeah. What was the other thing I wanted to say? Also, the fact that she called her team a low ego team when Fessy was in it made me worry that she didn't really know who the hell she's playing the game with. So I feel like she's really lost at this point.
True. What do you think? Where do you have her, Ish?
Just looking at the women's side, I have her 9th out of 10th, with the only person underneath her right now is Alyssa S.
Ooh.
And we still haven't put Lewis on the list. So I would put Cassidy over Lewis and Alyssa S at this point.
Okay,
so average 17th, Chantele. I just did a quick calculation, 17th on average.
All right. I'm fine with that.
Whew.
17.
Let's keep it moving.
Wait, so
How do we
if
get any friendly
Cassie's
fire?
17. Wait, who do we have not done yet though? So we haven't done
Lewis, have we spoken about where
I
Lewis
think-
is? Because Lewis is my number 18. So I don't know if we
So
want to
Lewis
just
is
rip the
probably
band-aid.
then going to be number. I had him higher actually because he was on a winning team, but I can understand the
'Cause
argument for bringing him
about him,
lower.
we've spoken about him a little bit. So,
Mhm.
okay, where do you have him?
I had
have
Lewis
him-
at 17. Sorry, I had him at 17.
I'm sorry, but I had him at the lowest of the men
Okay.
because of his
Okay.
performances. I think him and Monty, weren't they the only two men or only two of the green team that didn't even finish? Everybody else finished. Desi times 2. So I just felt like that was not good for him. And then he
So
was
that puts him
sitting
at
there in the middle of the daily. He was like nervous because his team, like the blue team, got 2 across, and he was like, "I'm going to be going into elimination again." It's like, dude, just finish it. Just finish the daily, man. Keep your eye on the prize.
So that puts him at 18, by the way, Chantele. So that's
18?
bam
That's
smack where
fine.
we had him.
That's
Yeah.
great. Okay. Woo, we kind of agree on something ish.
Who would have known?
So
This is the one that would
Lewis
bring us together.
is 18. Do we have anything else we want to say about Lewis? Let's move this along.
I hope he can make
I
it
like
through.
Lewis. I like Lewis.
Yeah.
And by the way, shout out to Lewis for doing a live viewing party with all the players when the premiere happened.
Yeah,
I
that
think
was
that's
cool.
really cool that he's actually trying to bring like a little bit of a social dynamic to the show. So I hope that with that we get to see more of Lewis in the future, because I feel like the challenge needs this. Survivor has all these live viewing parties all the time. Let's get these live viewing parties going for the challenge as well. Let's bring that energy.
I really wish I wasn't sick / broke that I could have went to that.
Oh,
That was really, really
sugar.
cool. Yeah, they was in Florida, so it would have been 5 hours, but it could have been cool. It would have been really worth it.
Oh my God. I really wish that you had gone. I mean, like I could have drove 24 hours and we could have both gone. Like, I mean, I'm planning on going. That Rob as a podcast is having a few this season. So I will be going to the States a few times, but none in Miami. So yeah, hopefully I can make up one of these Miami, because he does a lot of watch parties, and so I'm gonna get to one of them this year or next year, I think. Team Miami. I really like Lewis too, and he's a firefighter, so I hope that he gets his footing, and that he's able
He's
to
a super nice guy.
do better.
Yeah.
It's frustrating that he's already at, like, he's not coming in with numbers, and then I don't know if he knows the show that well. And so I am worried for him, but he's on a winning team, so hopefully he'll be able to just keep winning and just avoiding elimination, and then he can maybe skate by for a bit. Okay, so do we have all of our numbers up until that point now? Hold on, let's see.
So we've spoken about.
So we got 24, 23, 22, 21. Okay, so who are we putting at 20 then?
We don't have 20 yet?
Well, we moved things around, so it's not necessarily. Unless, okay, so like essentially I have 19, I have Tori, but if you guys are going to end up putting Tori higher, then Lewis might end up. Go ahead.
I've got Tori. Sorry for interrupting. I've got Tori at 16, so she is in that lower bracket for me as well. So potentially she could land low.
And where do you have her? Kind of number 1, Drew? Your favorite player?
No. At this moment, I have her 7th. No, 10, 9, 8. I have her 8. 8 out of 10 on the women's side.
So she's low for you as well.
That's really low.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I feel like she could win, but I just feel like she's in a really tough spot. And it seems like all of the women dislike her. I feel like Bananas maybe could wiggle. Wes has a little bit of wiggle room. It feels like Tori does not have any wiggle room outside of her compatriots of Corey and Fessel and Josh, which is a very limited circle at this moment. So
can you do the quick calculation, please, Chris?
Yeah, okay, so you've got 19. I think Drew's would end up at about 18th, and then I've got her at 16. So that would give us a placement of 17th.
17th. Okay. And then would that mean that she was before or after Cassidy?
She would be ahead of Cassidy.
So better then? Okay.
Yep.
So the number is going to probably change, but I'll
push everybody back if you need to up to 20th, I'd say. So you put her at 17th, Cassidy maybe at 18th, and push everybody back to 20th. If that makes sense.
There's just one more person that I have before that, and then then a bunch will line up, I think.
Okay.
So if Tori's going to go to 17, we say, who Drew do you have then at around the 19th, 18th position?
I'll keep banging the drum for Alyssa S.
Okay, yeah,
or Monty.
Who do I have lower? Did I not even put Monty on this? Oh no, I got Monty at 16. Okay, let's do Monty. I have Monty at 16. Chris, where do you have Monty?
You were thinking, do you have Monty on your list? Monty's the only player I don't have any notes on because I was like, Monty's on the show? Like, I mean, okay, yeah, let's put him there. Like, he was somewhere in my lower bracket as well. I'm not going to make a big argument around where we put him. It did look like at least the Survivor people that were out there, like Cassidy again, I think it was, that said, well, he was a runner-up, so he must be good at the strategy side of the game. But yeah, I don't know if he's necessarily going to go deep. There's nothing good or bad that we've seen so far in regards to Monty on this show.
All that we've seen from Monty is that he was really happy that he didn't have to go down and prove himself.
Yep.
That's all. That's the only confessional that I really saw. And then he didn't do very well on the dailies. His team won. Did he get across? Did he? No. Who got across? It was Desi, Michaela, Desi again, Wes, and Chanel, right? No, not Chanel. Chanel did get across, but that was on the other team.
Lewis and Monty are the only two people not to cross. Yeah, Lewis and Monty are the only two not to cross on their team. They got 6 total points out of 7 people, and Desi went twice to get 6. Yeah.
Yeesh.
As the season progresses, everyone, it'll get easier to rank. I know why some people are saying, why 16? Why is he this high? It's because we don't know. Like, he could go up, he could go down. Like, there's a lot of people in the middle. We just don't have any idea what's going to happen with him, right?
He obviously, he's gotten votes to go in. It just seems like people are willing to lose him, to be honest. So yeah, I have him at 16, but where do you guys have him again?
I'm happy with 16.
I think we might have to put him lower.
Okay, well, I'm happy.
I'll go with lower.
Yeah.
So 12, right now 11, we have next to Tori, and wait, Lewis is what, 18? Yeah, next to Tori, so it would be Tori then Lewis. I guess that makes sense actually.
I would put him behind Tori at least, but
yeah, that's 18.
I mean, yeah.
Okay. 18 is fine by me here. And then we have, who was at 17 again? We just did it.
Cassidy,
yeah.
Yeah. No, and there was another person that was around there too.
Go from the bottom, like.
Okay, so we got Amira, Janae, Bananas, Dusty, Tori, Monty, and then I have somebody there, and then Lewis, Cassidy, and then things get wonky again.
Yeah. So who's the last person in your bottom group that we haven't spoken about yet? Let's chat about them.
Okay, well, people are going to be mad at me here, but I got Michelle here. Michelle, I had her.
Whoa!
I ranked Michelle.
That's a hot take. That is a hot take.
I think that, I mean, the fact that she's been on the double losing team, she also was unlucky, had her ball go in. Yes, she did win, so I'm willing to bump her up some for sure. But I just feel as though people don't necessarily want her to be in the game. Like, I did see that she's in that alliance with Tiffany and whatnot, but I still feel like people are going to be coming for Michelle. Wes doesn't particularly like her, and telling Janae to be targeting her. I just feel as though potentially she's going to have to go in a few times. So I don't know if she's going to.
I think that with Michelle, right, and I had a ranked of all. Let me not tell you the ranking yet, because otherwise you're going to have a massive reaction to that, because we've got her on the opposite spheres of where you've got her and where I've got her. The thing with this is that if you're thinking that the vets at some point will come back and throw a Hail Mary and get control of this game, Michelle's in trouble. If you think the vets are not going to be able to get control of this game because the newbies are really going to sink their teeth in and that they're going to strategically maneuver throughout this game, there's no way Michelle should be this low, because Michelle has got friends in Survivor, and Survivor stays strong. She even said it in this first episode. Survivor's strong coming into this. It seems like Survivor and Big Brother are very tight this season, and then you've got a couple of people in Big Brother that are Big Brother, but they're not really Big Brother. They're kind of like in between a challenge player and a Big Brother player. So will the loyalty really be there for Big Brother? I don't know. So I feel like a lot of these newbie Big Brother people, this big girl alliance that are currently forming, this is the biggest alliance that we've got where we know they're working together at this stage. And Michelle is very much a part of that. So I think Michelle, having had experience of being on the show before, just proving herself in an elimination that she can win eliminations. She doesn't have the worst record when it comes to eliminations as well. I've got Michelle at second. I feel very, very high with her this season.
Second?
And this is not... Listen, the power rankings for me is who's going deep, who is situated well. I'm not saying she's necessarily winning this season, but can she get to a final based on what I've seen, where she's strategically sitting at the moment? We're on the exact opposite parts of where we think Michelle is. I think this is exactly where she wants to be.
I think that she's going to be able to get all the way to the end. Drew, tiebreaker.
I could see your point when it was after, oh my gosh, after episode 1, where she was kind of like you didn't know where she was. And I thought she had a stellar bounce back episode in episode 2, winning the elimination, and then kind of, I don't know, orchestrating the vote on Janae and Tori. I mean, let's be real. I mean, they were like, let's get Tori out. Let's get Tori out. Well, is Janae close to Tori? I don't know. Well, let's just vote her in anyways. And that was like Michelle's plan. Like, that was, who cares who goes home at that point? It's like Tori or Janae goes home and Michelle is like eating good. So to me, I had Michelle like in the top 5 right now.
So where would you put her if you
top
had to?
5 out of men and women?
Yeah. I'd put her in top 5.
I agree. I agree. I think this is her season. I think this is Michelle's season. People better be ready for it. She is a good player, but she's never had people behind her coming in always with one other Survivor player. Big Brother not really embracing her. I think this season she's got people who want to play with her.
So Luciana says second is too high. I would put Michelle around 7th or 8th. So that's probably where she'll end up. So want to do the quick math?
8.
8? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm cool with that. I was going between like 5, 6, 7 range. So yeah, I'm cool with that.
My boy Drew coming through.
We'll see if she ends up there. like this winning prowess that you are predicting here. We'll see. I mean, I think I might be really jaded by her past performances and I guess how I've felt about her being like, kind of like with Janae, like, you know, we went in really high with her for global and then she made these terrible moves. I just don't necessarily have faith in Michelle and her gameplay and being able to turn it around. Yes, she's not with Jay. So with that, hopefully she's going to be able to situate herself a little bit better. But I just felt that she was on the losing team twice. She went back to the losing team. I just don't know if I have faith in Team Red Flag. And I just feel as though
you're very low on Team Red Flag. You're very low on Team Red Flag. The whole
because they've lost 2 in a row. And like that's the Team Red Flag has lost 2 in a row. That's basically my facts around the red team. And I just can see them losing again. And I can also see people coming for Michelle, and she's going to have to go into elimination again. Maybe she'll win again, but I think that she's going to have to defend herself multiple times. So we'll see how that plays out. But right now we have Michelle at around 8. Okay, so that means that we have our bottom then. So Luis will end up being 17. Cassidy will end up being 16.
Okay.
Just from where they're positioned, and there's nobody beside them.
Rodrigo says, Chris, just wait for Michelle's paranoia to get the best of her again. And Rodrigo, listen, I know when that paranoia comes in, I'm not a big fan of that either. But I'm looking at what has happened so far where she's sitting. Obviously, the rankings, this is not locked in for the rest of the season, everybody.
Yeah, in 2 weeks, things are going to be changed. It would be like, oh, let's see how things have changed. How they've moved, and I'm
so either I will eat humble pie, or
rankings.
either I will eat humble pie, or Chantele will eat humble pie, or Drew. So we'll see. We'll see what happens.
You're more likely to eat
number 5. Don't put me in this.
No, you, Drew. Like I can. Second is just out of control. She's lost
Let's
twice.
Go, Michelle. Let's go.
Okay. I guess for me next, unless Drew, you want to say, is it on me? Is it my turn? Okay, we'll just do me next. I had at the 15th position, and I think they'll still land here. Someone who is probably going to stick around for a while, not the best game player. They were kind of making fun of his performance in this most recent daily challenge. Nobody really takes him seriously as a physical competitor, but people are willing to align with him strategically. So I'm going with the goof himself. He's in my 15th spot. The silence is deafening.
I'm trying to figure out where I put the goof. Oh, okay, I got him. Who wants to go first? Drew, you or me?
I think you should go.
I'm about to blow some stuff up.
Number one positioning.
Number one.
He's lost twice, and he's as an alliance.
How did you know my rankings? Did you look at it beforehand, Chantele? Now, listen, I ended up putting Josh at 8th overall for me so far in the power rankings. I think that he's not done much wrong. And again, what I like about Josh coming into the season is the fact, listen, again, he's on the red team, so obviously he's lost 2 challenges, which is not
That's
great.
why I have red lower, just to
I get it. And also, he didn't perform well in this daily where he fell off very quickly. He's got all this new muscle, but still couldn't keep himself up when he had to go from one podium to the other. But strategically, Josh is situated extremely well. He's got Big Brother. He's a bit of the spokesperson for the show right now. He's the one doing the welcoming of everybody with the cheers and the champagne.
He got that role, which instead of bananas, interesting.
Yeah, because he's the bridge between CBS and MTV, because people at CBS knows who he is. So he got that role. It was interesting to see him get that. I do think that he's got the ability, he's got options, like Drew said earlier, to either move with some of the vets, work with some of the vets, or work with the newbies. So
are you ranking him higher because of the fact that we saw in the preview that he's going to be making out with Cassidy? And that now you can have Gabler be the rightful winner now? Like, is that why you're like, Josh, yes,
Josh, let's go. No, it's got nothing to do with that. Like, I take personally, for me, I try and take my personal feelings out of, and I'm not a hater in any case. I don't hate on people for the sake of hating. I actually like the fact that Josh has worked on himself. He's coming back fitter this season. Will it work? I don't know. But so far, up until this point in the season, I haven't seen anything that makes me worried for him strategically. I feel like he's sitting in a really good pocket where, like this, we'll talk about Fessy later on, because I see themselves as in the same pocket, but Fessy is probably a more capable athlete compared to Josh in the game. But Josh, to me, he's got options. And if you've got options, he's not going anywhere anytime soon. The only potential issue that I do see, the only red flag I see for him is that if Paulie wanted to take revenge, but Paulie needs numbers at this point as well. So I don't even see Paulie coming for him. I think it's being played up for the TV screen at this stage.
Drew, you have him at number 1?
I have him at number 1 for the men. There's nobody better than Josh right now. He was team captain. He is putting plans together. He has alliances. He made the alliance between the red and blue team. And then even when he is a guy that has done 7 challenge seasons, he's not on nobody's radar. He is not looked at as a threat, even though he has a better physique and he came to play. And now he's going to be making out with Cassidy. I mean, come on now. Come on now.
Lying.
Come on.
Let's go.
You gotta be lying.
Let's go.
Drew,
mic drop.
Are you on meds?
Drop.
Are you okay? Are you okay?
Josh.
No.
Josh is number 1.
Yes.
No.
Yes. I love it. I love it. I'm all in. I'm all in on this because you know what that means is that he's probably going to end up exactly where I ranked him when we do the averages. But listen, it's a good point that you bring up here. It's a really good point, Drew. The fact that he had the conversation with the blue team to get the alliance going, which potentially could keep red and blue safe for a long time in the game. Yes, green just so happened to win by luck or by fluke this last one. But what happens if blue or red wins in the future? They're probably going to look out for each other. And I actually even said this in week 1. Is Josh the kingmaker of this season? So I can, listen, is he my number 1? No. But am I high that you're high on him? Yes. Let's put some respect on Josh's name coming into this season. Let's go.
Are you okay? Blink twice. Is somebody occupying your body?
This is like almost the exact same way that the fantasy draft went, where everybody was cool with me. I was the guy that was the cool guy in the background picking a fun team, and then I picked Josh, and the whole thing goes to fire. And now everybody's like, "Oh, I thought you were kidding. I haven't been kidding this whole time." Oh, Chris can come in with Wes at 20th and Michelle was 2nd, but I come in with Josh at number 1 for the men, and now I'm the crazy one.
Well, because we thought you were trolling, okay?
It's all serious. It's all serious. I love that Natalia thought I made a second list. I would not go even. I barely made this one. Can't make 2 lists.
Just so Michelle,
this is a good point. Jorge says, do you remember what happened to Michaela for writing down that list? Yes. Yeah, she was taken out.
Oh,
yes, Chris?
Right. I was going to say, I've done the math. That puts him right where I had him on 8. So he's definitely going to crack our top 10.
Because I can see how you guys are ranking a little bit differently than how I was thinking. But so I can move him up to 8.
We're going to be careful here. We're going to be known as the number 1 Josh Stan podcast very soon.
Yeah, right? God.
Hey, at least I don't have Fessel as my number 1 ranked man, right? Right? Silver lining, everybody.
Yeah. Just brace everyone.
We'll do this here, I guess. Oh my gosh. Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm sick. This is why I love doing these rankings. Sorry, where was Wes? Wes is the person I didn't move. Or no, Wes is 12. No, he's still 12.
12. Okay. Yeah, he's 12.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so
I love putting Chantele through this much pain. Just seeing the pain on her face. This is my enjoyment for the week.
That's why you're like, I'm waking up early and I'm coming on this pod.
I'm back every week now.
Oh my gosh, I'm literally sick. Okay, so who do I have? The one person then that I have that needs to be resolved. Hold on,
I just want to make something clear to Jorge. I did not put him over Desi. He's just my number 1 ranked man. I have the men and the women ranked separately. So just throwing that out there. Just because Josh is number 1 for the men doesn't mean that he's over Desi in the overall. I'm not crazy, everybody.
Oh boy. I'm sick.
I may have been hanging out with people Animail too much. Maybe that's why I'm liking Josh.
Is he a Josh fan? I've only seen his he did a couple of Jeopardies that I watched. I think it was for Big Brother though, but
I've heard from various sources that he's very much a Josh believer, a Josh truther, I guess. Yeah.
Okay, I mean this.
I said,
I'm sweating, guys. I'm sweating. This is torment. Okay. So who I originally have at my 13th place, that's going to need to be moved around in some capacity, is somebody that was considerably a bit of a voice of reason on his team. He was a first draft pick on his team out of the vets. He's coming back. He's playing for his family. He wants Tori to be on his team and he come back. I don't know how much he's going to be able to do socially. I don't know if he's going to be the person that's going to be able to maneuver the rookie revolution, but I have Corey at my 13th position, which I know will be moved around. So that's who needs to be resolved at this point.
Yeah, listen, I've got Corey at 15 on mine. It's so he's kind of in that pocket as well. I like Corey. I like him coming back, and he is definitely out of the vets. I feel like he's the person with almost the most upside to integrate himself with the newbies, because he really does not have that ego at the moment in the house. He's coming in like, I'm going to play with whoever. I'm going to maneuver wherever I need to. Plus, strategically, he kind of impressed me working with Tori and convincing the blue team to do what they wanted to do in the first episode. That was really smooth. And I feel like, I don't know if I should give credit to Corey and Tori for being great strategically there, or just the rookies being a couple of steps behind, because it's the first time they've played. And by the time the second vote happens, maybe they won't get their way. But again, like, I feel like it's a good spot for him. He's not upsetting anyone. He's not a controversial person in the house. I don't think out of the vets, his name's going to come up anytime soon. I think they're going to take shots at the best thing for Corey that happened this season is that Wes and Bananas is there as well, because they will get all the bullets firing their way.
Drew, what about you? Where do you have
I had
Corey?
Corey won over Wes. So I guess 10th or 11th in overall, I would have him. I just think he's really in a good spot. I don't know why. I just think that he comes below the Wes and the Bananas of the group. He even comes below the Tories of the group. I feel
Below
like
as in higher, correct?
Yeah.
Or like a lower number or a higher ranking?
I have Corey one over Wes. So like the 11th or the 10th round. So I just think that I think he has a better pathway of being mixed in with everybody, because he has the Fessels and the Joshes and the Tylers, possibly because of Casey's involvement with everybody, that he's probably hung out with Tyler a couple of times. So I just feel like there is a pathway for Corey to be able to make it deeper into the season than, say, the Wes's or the Bananas, even though he is an MTV legend. So I have him around 10th.
Okay. And then, Chris, you have him at 15th-ish?
15th. Yep. Do you want me to do a quick
So it'd be
calculation?
13.
Going to be.
It'd be 13, but then you had them both. Did you have them above Wes, Chris?
Yes.
Yeah. Obviously,
Okay,
Wes was 20th on my original list. So
right. So we will bump Corey ahead of Wes then, and so he'll be 12, and I think Wes will end up 13th, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. People want to do a little recap, so let me just fix this number, and we'll do a recap
time.
Hold on, let's move this. This is 12. You guys are going to be sick when I say who my actual number 12 was, but okay. Sorry. Okay. Let's get this going. All right. I'll play it for us. So, got Amira. Actually, I should change the time between, but too late. Jordan, Bananas. Dusty at 21. Tori at... Oh, shit. She's at 20 then, isn't she? Shit. Or is there a 19 that I've just forgot to move? No,
I'd say you probably move everyone one back.
All right.
Maybe.
Sorry, shit. Did you guys see?
Maybe.
Yeah, we saw that.
Oh, okay. Get out of here. Okay. Say that again.
I don't know. I was saying we still haven't put Monty.
Monty is
or
at
Alyssa S anywhere.
Alyssa S. Let's deal with her before. I had Alyssa S at 11 because right now I have all the blue pretty much in this area because I felt that they won. They just seem to have all the people that are working with within that alliance. So with Tiffany, with Chanel, with even Michelle, etc. So I just felt that the blue team were better situated than the red team. And then for the most part, the green team was in, I would say, a stronger situation. So I have most of the blues right here.
I want to just read one comment here. George A is saying, recap, Chris is Amanda and Drew is being Marie for bringing the chaos to the screen.
I'll be Marie.
I need the little devil horns.
So When did we put Amanda so low? I had Amanda high, but everybody else had her super low.
I had a low. I had a 22nd, like really low.
And Drew, you had her at what, like 5th on the women or something, or 6th on the women?
Yeah.
And
her
so
middle tier.
Why?
Let's not open that can of worms because I think we were on that for quite a while. So let's not go down that road again.
Okay, so sorry, who are we talking about now?
Alyssa S.
Alyssa S. So I had her at around this spot, like 11 is where I had her.
12 for me. So kind of in the spot. Yeah.
I had her bottom of the barrel for the women. I mean, I had her just above Dusty and Lewis. This woman wins into power with her team, yet she comes out of those nominations crying because her best friend is going into elimination and gets booted from the show. What more do we need? And then she falls from these toothpicks and what has she done? What has she done? She has been in one conversation, and that was when Josh was saying, hey, the blue and the red team should get together. And then she tried to play dumb at the nominations, being like, has anybody talked to Josh? Yeah, you were there. You talked to Josh. And then she's not in the room with Tiffany and Desi and all that stuff with the Tori and John A plan. She could have been filled in later, but she wasn't there. She's just chilling out, maybe macking out with Tyler. I don't know. But to me, Alyssa's not doing much of anything at this moment.
But she's going to be doing a lot of sticking around because I feel like they're not going to go for her. She is in the major alliance in the house. And I just think that she's going to stick around for a while. Blue is a pretty stacked team as well.
I agree.
And so I just feel strongly about her team that's going to keep her in the game, and then she also has a strong alliance in the game. So
Alyssa S can do nothing physically and then make out with somebody. Yet when I say Josh is doing that stuff, everybody's like, "Whoa, what? Josh is not a good player. He should be out in 18
Alyssa,
15.
I think
But
is better
Alyssa
situated
over
than
him
Josh.
for
Okay?
what?
Josh.
For what? For losing her best friend. Josh has all of his friends in here. Josh is hanging out. He's making friends. He's having a good time. Alyssa S is crying about her friend leaving.
Don't worry, Nikki. I believe she'll end up being lower. So can you do the fast math, please, Chris?
Yeah, what was Amanda's rank, just for out of curiosity's sake?
Well, it's going to be moved around probably, but around 15.
So where did you have her, Drew?
I had her 10th at 10th. 10 out of 10 for women.
Okay.
Yeah, I had her very bottom.
So
I basically had her at 21.
Okay, so she will be 15th overall, according to the averages.
Okay, so I'll put her at 15. And then that means that Amanda will be at 14. But I think it's actually going to end up being one number over. But we'll see.
I found it hard to rank her. Like a lot of the people in the middle for me was hard to rank.
They were all hard to rank.
No, I was like, I'm like, this is the bottom, this is the top, and then the middle is like, whatever. We can figure it out.
Okay, so she's going to be around 15. Okay, so who have we not talked about that's next? I think.
So I've got someone that on my rankings was 14th originally, but I know this is like in hindsight looking at it, I might have made a mistake, but I'm just going to stick with where I put them, because the worry for me about this person is I've got Tiff at 14th, and the worry for me about this person, it was always the worry even coming into the season, is that physically I think she's going to find it tough to get to the end of this game and win. Like if that alliance gets sniffed out as this big alliance that she's pulling together, then I think she's going to be a target very early on. They're going to try and throw it, and there's going to be some sort of counter potentially there to that alliance. And I am not confident that she can win an elimination. I do think strategically Tiff has got the potential to go deep in this game, like in Anissa, but how would she do if she actually gets to a final? I don't know. So again, I struggled with the middle rankings, but also the fact that Tiff was also willing to go outside of that alliance and work with a Janae. I don't know if there's going to be any payback on that because of the fact that Janae is now gone. I feel like Tiff could get found out down the line. So yeah, I had her 14th overall.
Well, you can see I had her at 6, and I totally get
Good.
your points that we're like worried about her potentially physically, but I feel as though she's
And
been.
Team Hot Mess, you've got her as the highest Team Hot Mess,
I
and she
do.
physically struggles. That to me that's crazy. Because like if you're thinking they're gonna keep being in trouble,
I
and
just
she's
don't
like the one
think that
person
I think that
can't-
she might be able to, because like she's making so many friends. I think she's making more friends than Josh is making friends, and I think that she's better insulated than other people. She hasn't had anybody, if I'm not mistaken, put her ball in there. She was willing to save face with Janae because she like with her who she's putting her ball on. I just think that she strategically might be able to maneuver herself better than the candle. Personally.
Luciana, I just want to say I am comparing her for not personality wise. Like Tiffany's got in my opinion, she's more my cup of tea personality wise than Anissa. I'm making other comparisons physically and strategically how she could get to the end, but potentially not win. I just wanted to make that clear. But I do think Tiff is like personality wise. I love Tiff. I actually even watched
I was
her
more
on...
worried about her before seeing her actually in action because I thought that it was going to be a steamroll and she'd just be thrown in first, but it just doesn't seem like anybody's even talking about her as being someone to throw in. So obviously we've only seen 2 episodes and anything can change, but right now I feel as though strategically she's in a good position.
Where did you have it, Drew? You're very quiet.
For the people that are left, I have Tiffany low. I would put Monty, Sebastian, and then Tiffany. Monty really hasn't been doing a whole lot. I mean, he carried the statue pretty well. But this daily challenge, he kind of flopped. And then on top of that, he's gotten a ton of votes, at least 4, going into one of the eliminations. So I have Monty the lowest out of everybody who is left, then Sebastian, then Tiffany.
So what, Tiffany would have been second lowest for the women? Is that right? Or where did you rank her?
6 out of 10.
6 out of 10. Okay, cool.
Yeah, just under Amanda, but ahead of Tori.
That would put her at 11th overall.
Okay, I'm fine with that. We can move her on down to 11th. I'm happy that I have some like low numbers. That's just like shaking up you guys, your power plays. Like, so we're gonna get a good ranking. I think in the end, I think it will be a fair and accurate one.
This is hard work, but we're getting there, everyone.
I'm literally sweating. Okay, so Tiffany's 11. Okay, so this should we debate this one since hold on, let's put Tiffany here. She's 11 because the person that I originally had at 12, Chris saw. I don't know if you guys saw.
I saw it. Yeah, it was a bit of a shocker. But I shouldn't be shocked, right? I shouldn't be shocked. Yeah, I know you don't like this person.
Well, it's just that they bring nothing. Nothing.
What do you mean they bring nothing?
Okay.
If Fessy wasn't there, we would not have had the blow up between Michelle, Tori,
they would still blow
and
up,
Amanda.
and like he'd still just be laying on the couch, like with Bananas summoning him, and him just not saying a word. He also did not have any confessionals this episode.
Listen,
he didn't get across on the daily. Like he just fell like a sack of potatoes into the water. He just, to me, added very little other than his past actions affecting these women. He didn't do anything for me this episode or these last
you see, Fessy reminds me a little bit of myself as an uncle, you know? So I've got my best friend, right? He's got a kid that's 8 years old, gets into a lot of trouble all the time. And I'm like that favorite uncle that comes around, helps him mess things up. And then I get out of the way when his parents get upset and I sit on the side and I do nothing. That's Fessy, you know? He's got favorite uncle vibes, you know, coming in there, messing things up and then sitting on the side, keeping himself out of the drama. But he's doing the right thing. He's staying out of trouble at this stage. He's not getting involved. Even when Bananas is trying to pull him in, hey, Fessy, come here. Your women are fighting over here. He's like, I'm not getting in there.
Fessy, get your women.
Yeah. Like he's like,
I'm not. Though I would have loved him to come in and be like, ladies, you don't need to fight. There's a lot of me to go around, or something really cheesy. I would have been really mad, but I would have liked it. At least it would have been something. Yes, he's the furniture company representative this season.
Yeah,
boring.
But listen, he may be boring, but I do think that at the end of the day, he is an athlete. I do think that, this is the season. We came into the season. He was your number one draft pick. I can't believe after 2 episodes, you're willing to turn your back on your number one draft pick.
I'm not power ranking based on my draft. Okay. We'll just let the numbers show for how well my draft pick number 1 has done, which we will get to a little bit later. Hopefully Drew has that.
Yeah. But I want to say, so I had Fessy at number 3. Overall,
right. And Drew, you had him at number 2.
I changed it while we were doing it. I put him 4th for the men. So 4 out of 12.
Yeah. So he may not be everybody's cup of tea, but I do think that at the end of the day, this season is a season that he can do extremely well in. He's, again, a vet undercover with the same, not the same amount, but with a lot of experience of getting to finals, making it to finals. And people are not looking at him that way. They're looking at him as a Big Brother player, which I think really gives him a great camouflage coming into the season. I've just done the math. He's number 6 overall with our rankings.
All right.
Just outside of the top 5.
Okay. It's fine.
Wow.
Who else do we have next on someone's list that we haven't talked about yet?
Monty.
No, Monty's low.
Monty's low. We should have had him
Monty's
very low.
at like 19. 19, yeah.
It's very low.
Monty's at 19.
I thought we skipped somebody. All right, Sebastian.
I changed the numbers, but we didn't skip someone, but Monty's at 19 for
Sebastian's next for me as well, actually.
I have now
this man needs to pay
10th.
for
I have
his
Sebastian
sins.
at 8, but that's fine. Sorry, go ahead, Drew.
Yeah, he just has to pay for his sins of what he put us through with this disgusting Riz that he tried to put a spell on us. He loves big, bold, beautiful,
big, bad, bold,
dangerous.
and dangerous women.
And then he's sitting in a room with 3 other men snoring, being like, "Oh, I really, 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 really like your personality. It's so attractive." It's like, oh, what a great line to hit in between 2 snores. That's great, man. You're really crushing it right there, dude.
Lovable Nikki, I had him 8th because him and his team have won the first challenge, and then also he was one of the only guys that were able to get across in this particular daily, so I had them a little bit higher than a lot of people in the red. That's amazing, and he's going to be saddling up with Tori, and so I don't know if he's going to take any bullets for that, but it could be good for him being in a number if they pull him in and he'd be part of the anti-rookie resistance or whatever. So I had him at 8. You guys had him a lot lower, though, I believe, right?
I had him at 10.
10.
Where did you have him, Drew?
I had him wherever 1, 10, 12, 11, 10, 9, 8. 8 out of 12 for the men. I had him low.
Right.
I had him under Paulie.
Paulie right now is at 14.
Okay, let me have a quick look. So that would be 10th overall.
Okay.
Between the 3 of us. Yeah.
I'm fine with that. Are you fine with that, Lovable Nikki?
he's got athletic ability, and it looks like he's going to be hooking up. And we all know that in the challenge house, that as annoying as it sometimes can be or gross, when that happens, it can keep you safe in the game for a bit longer. So yeah, I feel okay with him for now, and he's in a good team.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so that means we had Alyssa at 10, I believe, right? Alyssa L, or was that not determined yet?
We haven't spoken about Alyssa L yet. I don't think we've spoken about Alyssa Snyder.
Right. What number do we put Fessy at?
Fessy ended up on 6. Yep.
6. Okay, let me just move him. 6. Holy Jesus. Okay, let's just do this here. Okay, so do you want to talk about Alyssa Lopez now?
Yeah, Alyssa for me was number 11. So again, with her, obviously she's in a bit of an alliance, which she always seems to find herself into these types of cracks with the women. I do think that alliance can be very dominant. this season. She's willing to play her own game, take shots at the vets, which I think is the right strategy. You're not going to beat them at the end game. The only problem I have for her strategically, she seems to be doing pretty well, sitting well in the game. I'm just worried for her physically in some of the challenges. But I say that she did win dailies in the previous season. But this is a very different season with it not being duos and being a team dynamic, which requires a different type of skill set on these daily challenges, which I don't know how she's going to perform in some of those big team working sort of challenges out there. But overall, again, I don't see her being in trouble yet. I think there's people that will be taken out before her, and she sits in, which I am in very much agreement with you, Chantele. I think the blue team is going to steamroll. I think this is the powerful team. So I think she's got a lot of safety in there.
Drew,
So
what about you?
I want to eat some crow because I actually feel like Alyssa L is doing better than I had thought she would. She's actually coming in very strategic. She's actually working hard. She has a good group around her, helping her out and stuff. So I actually do want to give her some flowers. The only problem I see is what Chris said. I mean, if it comes down to anywhere in the middle of the game to later in the game, people are going to be eyeing her to send into elimination because when it comes down to it, lines start to get blurred and everybody only sees the money. Everybody only sees the finals. So she might be good in these team formats, but what happens when the team format is kind of dissolved? Who's possibly going into an elimination? Do they have pool? Maybe they want her in there to go up against her. So I just have a hard seeing her take out really anybody, especially if it comes down to a physical elimination. But at this moment, I have her like 5th. On the women's side, I have her kind of high. So I actually think that she's in a good spot.
So 10th-ish is accurate for her?
Yeah, I think so.
Because you had her at 11th, right, Chris?
Yep.
So, okay, so right now at the 11th spot, we have Tiffany, and at the 10th spot, we have Sebastian. So she's ahead of both of them, right?
I would say so. I'd be
Yes.
happy to put them above both of them.
So she'll
Yeah,
end up
I'd
at
agree.
9, I believe.
Okay, cool. I'm cool with that.
10 and 9. Cool. So who does somebody have next?
At 8th, I've got a person that I'm shocked that both of you all are also this high on this person, that they've snuck into the top 10.
Oh, I know who it's going to be.
They've stayed undercover this whole season. You know, people are underestimating him out there, and they picked him last. Chris Underwood is my number 8 overall, and I like what Chris is bringing to the show. He's very quiet so far. He's not really, ruffling any feathers or anything like that. He's not doing anything wrong. He seems to be good at the challenges. Very impressive performance by the two ladies who ended up pulling him up in the daily challenge. But he did get over. He did actually get over.
Was that him? I thought it was.
Oh no, it was
someone else.
Tyler.
Yeah.
Sorry, it was Tyler. He did get over the obstacle thing as well, right? Or
Yeah.
did I remember that incorrectly? Yeah.
Chris,
So
did he? Yeah, Sebastian and Chris got across. Yeah.
So again, showing that obviously physically, they're kind of like, I know he's 30, but he's kind of like a young buck coming on, doing well in the challenges. But we also know that overall, socially, he's good. He's part of Survivor. There's other bigger targets. And I think because of the fact that he's coming into the show being underestimated as someone who didn't necessarily win in the most strategic sense the season that he played, I think a lot of people don't see him as a threat, and that by the time they do see him as a threat, it may be a little bit too late in the game, and he might have a very strong run towards the end game. So again, I've not seen anything that have made me worried about him, and he's in the blue team, which again, like I said, I'm pretty high on a lot of the blue team. They're a strong team. I don't see him going anywhere anytime soon.
Blap blap. Where do you got him? Drew skis. You agree?
I have to eat a little bit of crow on this one too, because Chris has really been impressing me over the season. Now, he hasn't had a ton of confessionals, but he has been doing incredibly stellar in these daily challenges. Helping carry the statue. He's like the biggest dude on his team. He's carrying those statues. He's giving it his all. They win. He actually makes it across when he's like the size or just as big as like Fessel or like Corey, who kind of flopped out there. Josh kind of dropped, and Chris somehow was able to make it with his giant frame and huge biceps. So to me, I've kind of like put Chris high up. I think he's in a really good spot in the game. He's Survivor. He looks really strong. I think because of his size, nobody's really gonna want to take any shots at him for the most part. And I just have him second behind Josh on the men's side.
Just getting behind Josh. It's just like wild to me.
Behind Josh. That'll put him again. That'll put him at number 5 overall on the rankings. Just ahead of whoever we had at 6 there. Who did we have at 6? We had
Fessy.
I think it was Fessy. Yeah, so just ahead of Fessy. You bring up a good point, Angel Cake. I actually forgot about that. He's 6'5". He's a massive guy. He's
Holy
absolutely
heck.
Yeah, he's a massive guy. Somebody told me in the live the other day when we were doing it, he's 6'5". So I don't think people want to necessarily see him even in a physical elimination, really. And we also know that mentally he's extremely strong because in his season, when he got voted out early on, he had to stay in a mental space to still compete to win his way back in the game, where a lot of people could have easily quit. You know, there's no food, there's a lack of nutrition, all that kind of stuff. So we know that mentally he's not going to crack either. So mentally he's strong. Physically, he seems athletic for an extremely big guy. And, you know, he's got the ability to deliver even in puzzles and things like that. I think he's a smart guy as well. So, yeah, he's a bit of a triple threat. So I'm not hating him being 6 overall.
Joanne's like, Chantele, je ne comprends pas rien. I don't understand anything. I understand nothing. C'est un peu fou. These rankings are great. These are great. They're wild. They are definitely wild. I do think I had him decently high. I'm fine with him being in this position. He's on the blue team. The blue team, I think, is a stacked team. I didn't realize that he was 6'5", so he is somebody that can actually go up against Fessy if those teams dissolve. And I just, yeah, like I think he's been impressing me. I feel like him being Survivor is a good thing. I'm very interested to see how well he does, and he's coming back for a bit of redemption. It's kind of like how Michelle wasn't necessarily valued for her win on Survivor. He's another asterisk beside his win as well, and he wants to come back for some redemption, and he's seemingly already proving it. So I'm fine with him. I have faith in him doing well in this season, and so I'm happy to have him at 6. Alrighty.
Yeah.
All right, now the top dogs are coming in. Okay, I guess next we have is Michelle then next, right? Is that where we ended up leaving Michelle? It was at 8, but where do we want to slot her in?
Well, don't ask us because we want to put her up to the top.
Well, she's at 8 then. So well, basically, do you think that she is ahead or after Chris? I guess ahead. Okay, so she's number 5 then.
Yeah, I'll say ahead.
Yeah.
Okay, so she's number 5.
I think Chris has got a longer upside, but Michelle is strategically, as the table is set right now, I think she's in a really good spot.
All right, well then, who do you have in numero 4? Numero 4.
Well,
I mean,
6 over.
I'll be real. I think Tyler's too high. I feel like Tyler's already too high. I mean, he's taken the Casey bait for this season. I mean, he hasn't done a whole lot. I know he's gonna make out with Eliza somewhere deep down in the futures. I know I could see it somewhere, but right now he's kind of just like meandering around and commenting how good Bananas is at swinging stuff. So I mean, Tyler, I feel like could be in the top 10. But I wouldn't necessarily. I don't think I would have him crack my own personal top 5. But
yeah, where did you rank him? Because remember, we could still move things around. So where did you
I ranked him just ahead of Fessel, so 4th amongst the guys. But
you
I would
say that,
him,
but you've got him in your top 4th. I guess it's like around 8th or something. Or...
I mean, 4 at 12, yeah. So I would put him probably around.
4 to 12 is 30%, so that's 8. Yeah. Okay.
I had Tyler 5th.
I had him 3rd.
3rd. Okay, so that will put him at number 5 overall.
So ahead of Michelle, so he'd be number 6?
Yeah.
Okay.
In my opinion, Michelle's ahead, but I think as a collective, he would be probably just ahead of her.
He's just done better. Right, like, you know, his team has won. I have to take in consideration his team, him being on a winning team, and Michelle has not been on a winning team, and she's been unlucky to have her ball pulled and have to go into elimination. So
Yeah.
that's is not great. It means that she's put herself in a position where she could go home.
Yeah. He's done reasonably well in the challenges. Obviously, he did get pulled up by his team. I believe it was it Chanel and Michaela who pulled him up, if I remember correctly. I just watched the last night. So
Amanda and Desi.
Yeah,
Desi. Sorry, yeah. So that was impressive performance by both those girls to actually help him out there.
but like
he's
he probably was pushing all the things so they could get across, and so like that was he didn't have any more momentum to be able to swing it. So the fact that he was still able to pull himself up in that position, like most other guys would have fallen like a sack of potatoes, and so he was agile and limber enough to be able to pull himself over.
He's a great team player. Tyler's always been a great team player, even when he played Big Brother, you know, when he was with his team. I think that he's that kind of guy that people want to be around Tyler. We've seen it in Big Brother as well. They want him to do well. Even in the season that he struggled when he came back, they still wanted to play with him and he still ended up going deep. I just have a lot of faith in Tyler. Like one thing I'm going to say is a bit of a red flag is him constantly saying that, listen, I don't want to come out here and do another showmance. And we know that he's going to be in another showmance and that maybe will get him sidetracked a little bit in the game. But I do think that there is a lot of potential with him. The confessional that he had where he said, well, this is a secret vote. It's starting to sound a lot like Big Brother. This is right in my wheelhouse, you know, like all these kind of things.
He's good at these things. Like, I haven't seen him yet, but he's good slippery at strategizing.
He's a slippery bugger, so I wouldn't count him out. And I'm happy for him to. Like, I don't think he's too high. I think he's definitely somewhere in the top 5, top 10 conversation.
I have faith in him getting far. I have faith in him if he was in either of the 2 eliminations, unless he's going up against like those tanks of Chris and Fessy. Like, I feel like he's agile enough to be able to do the most recent elimination, and I feel like he would be good at was he his actual surfing instructor, or was like that was everybody thought that he was just because of his hair?
No, he wasn't. They thought he was. He was just a lifeguard. But I also wanted to add, you can't have Fessy and Josh as high as you have without putting him high, because he is a part of that threesome 100%, because obviously
he's on the same season as Fessy.
Yeah, and he's very close friends with Casey, and Casey and Fessy is close.
Josh.
So
100%.
He's in.
So we haven't talked about, like, they haven't talked about it on the show, but I'm sure that they pre-alliance, like a gazillion percent. They're in the same part of US. They all live over by Florida.
I'm very high on the 3 of them. I think I'm very high on the 3 of them as a package. And the fact that no one is pointing it out, or it's not being sort of noticed by people in the house, makes me believe that they can do damage this season.
Okay, so if Tyler is 5th, that means your girl Michelle is 4th. And then I have Chanel at third place. Remember, I'm not ranking the red team super high just because of the fact that they keep on losing, but she is part of the faction that's going to come against the vets, which I'm happy about. I think that she's pretty strong. She was able to get over in the daily, but it wasn't enough to get the win for her team. I do have faith in Chanel. I do worry that she might be too focused on the bets potentially, you know what I mean? And like not be able to necessarily pivot, and maybe she might be targeted just for people thinking that she might be the mouthpiece. But I do have more faith in her than obviously a lot of other people this season. So I think that she can go to the end.
Drew, how did you rank Chanel? Because I found it hard to rank her, but I had a high, obviously, because we haven't spoken about her yet. How did you rank her?
Yeah, she was. So I ranked her high for her strategy because she was in like every single conversation. I mean, when it was the red meeting about where the rogue vote came from, she was like right there. Also, it was jarring to see that edit because the way it was edited, she was like right next to Bananas, then she was like right next to Michelle, and then she was right back next to Bananas. They cut that all up into hell. I thought it was like some joke or something that she was everywhere, but she was there. Then she takes that information and goes to talk to Tiffany and Desi, and then she's off talking in the big group, and nobody's any of the wiser. I mean, I talked to John A earlier today, and she said that when they were out at the club, which they didn't show, that Chanel was weird Like when she was trying to talk to her, she was like, wow, something felt off when I talked to her, but she had no idea that she was getting 5 votes. And most likely one of them was from Chanel onto her. So, I mean, she's trying to play both sides, and I think she's doing it quite well. Like everybody is kind of like nervous about their own hides, and she's able to go back and forth, and everybody has to rely on her. I think she's doing a pretty fantastic job right now. And yeah, I put her 4th for the women, 4th out of 10. But I too had a little bit difficulty trying to rank her overall.
Yeah, I it's interesting because I think I had a 6 overall. So we're all kind of in the ballpark here. I actually who do we have 4th? It might push. We might have to talk about is she 3rd or 4th. I think those are the 2 spots we have to contest.
Michelle.
Oh, you're going to try to push Michelle up to 3rd?
Michelle.
Yeah, right. You guys are ridiculous.
No, yeah, that's okay. It's okay. We can leave her at 3rd. I mean, I'm okay with that. I mean, Michelle, we've pushed her up a lot already from where you had her. But yeah, I think the thing with Chanel that really impressed me is I knew she had the ability to play a strategic game because she wanted to do it in Survivor. It just blew up in her face a little bit that season, but also a lot of that.
She lied when she shouldn't have lied.
Yeah,
well,
and again,
she just played a twist incorrectly. But I mean,
exactly. And I was going to say, how much of that do you blame on her, and how much do you blame on the production of Survivor manufacturing these moves or wanting people to overplay because they throw so much at the game? I think there's a case to be made that some of it, like obviously the players always to blame for their own actions at the end, but also Survivor probably egged her on a little bit that season to overplay her hand. But one of the things that I think really impressed me from Chanel, not so much the strategy side and how she's socializing and talking to everybody, because I knew she had that in her, and I think subconsciously that's why I had her so high. What impressed me was how good she was at the physical part of the daily challenges in the first 2 episodes. Specifically the one where Bananas flew through the challenge from one side of the podium to the other one, and Chanel was like right on his heels, pushing him to the other end, getting there. I didn't realize she had that athletic ability in her. So the fact that she's bringing that kind of energy makes me positive that this is a show where your strategic game alone is not going to get you to the end. At some point, you're going to get thrown into eliminations. At some point, you're going to have to win daily challenges. And I think Chanel is made out of the right stuff. So I'm not angry at having her crack our top 3 here. Like next week, whenever we come back together and do another power ranking, we'll either prove to be geniuses or we may be completely wrong on this one. But so far, I'm happy with that.
Adrian, I did see Chanel's respond to the tweet saying like, "Who'd you vote for?" And she's like, "Wes," and she's like, I want to see how well she does. I feel like this is in her wheelhouse. I feel like she's going to be able to prove and show what she wanted to show when she was on Survivor, and so I'm looking forward just to see her have some numbers, have people that she's working with, it being physical, but then also having the strategic elements. I just think that she's going to be able to excel where she was kind of stifled in the numbers game of Survivor. So I'm looking forward to it. So are we keeping her here? Are we moving her around?
I'm happy with this position.
Yeah, I'm good.
Good. Okay, so this is going to be the ultimate debate, I think, right now. Who's in our 1st and 2nd position? I see. Oh, okay, Drew, who do you got?
In which rank?
In
2nd or 1st?
Well, I guess this is got to talk about number 1 then, I guess, because you made a face. So who's number 1?
I didn't know that there was going to be a debate. I mean, I'm putting Desi number 1. Let's go.
Chris?
I had Desi number 1 as well.
Well, I had Michaela at number 1. So, I mean, I can see obviously reasons for why, but I guess I'll tell you why I put it in this order is because Michaela went up against Wes and was able to get her way. Wes was starting to put his little mist on. Wes was trying to say like, hey, like, you know, let's not do the house's dirty work. Like if you're going to go for them, they're going to come for me. Like, and she's like, yeah, but you know what? We're going to take our shot. Like we're just shut it down so well. And she's with the numbers, and she was mad at the I don't know if it was the red or the blue team for not throwing in 2 vets in the first round. I just feel like Michaela is being able to really blossom as like the strategic force on this season. She's strong physically. I believe she did get across. Did she get across? Did she?
Twice.
I think she did.
Yeah,
no,
twice.
Desi got across twice. I'm talking
Desi
about.
got twice.
I was talking about. Sorry, Michaela. But
oh yeah, Desi helped Michaela get it over.
Sorry, that's why I had Michaela in number 1.
Angel Cake with a shade there. Desi, help Michaela.
Hey man, like I think I have Desi on my draft with you guys, or I have it with my other
Chantel's
draft.
argument would be Michaela is that good that people want to help her win this game. If you wanted to turn it back on, do the reverse Uno on Drew. But listen, they're both good players. I mean, at the end of the day, we're obviously we're outvoting you on this one, and we're going to put Desi at number 1 because both of us have got her at number 1. But I have been impressed while we've got Michaela's face out there. I have been impressed by Michaela's ability because the first season when she came on, she had no one wanting to work with her. There wasn't enough Survivor players out there. She got found out with the list. She's not coming into the season scared of playing a strategic game. I was fearful that she may come in after that experience thinking, oh, I need to sit back a little bit more, not be an active player. But I don't think Michaela has got that in her. I think she always, when she plays the game, it's why she's come back twice on Survivor. It's why they're bringing her back this season. She is the kind of player that, for good or bad, is going to try and drive the direction of the game. So due to that, her ranking for me at second is high, because is that high because I see what she's doing. I see you, girl. I see you working your strategic magic. I think you're going to be a force with that all-girl Survivor Big Brother alliance. The fact that you could go toe-to-toe against Wes and stand your ground when he was putting a lot of pressure on you. That's someone that has got a lot of clout in the challenge world. All of that I really, really respect. And I do think Michaela is also athletically a beast. But we're talking about Desi here, right? And Desi, she's been to a final before. She got hard done by Enzo quitting on her. She's come back similar to Chris having this underdog story. That's a theme very early on. She's got an underdog story, probably even more so in the challenge realm, where she's like, I am back to prove my worth. I'm back to win this thing. And her doing that challenge twice when a lot of men gassed out on it was very impressive to see. Desi is not only physically capable, she's not only strategically capable and in with that alliance. No one, we always talk about it, Chantele, who would you not want to see in an elimination? No one wants to see Desi in an elimination. If we see a Desi and Tori elimination, that would be the thing that dreams are made of this season, because that would be the two biggest female competitors going head-to-head. And that's giving a lot of respect to Tori, but I think Desi as well will stand her ground in a hall brawl or anything. You don't want to go up against her. She is an athletic specimen. And I just love Desi. And she's done no wrong in my eyes with this first episode. Obviously, my number 1 female pick for the season. I am very happy she has had a strong start to this season.
Yes. Like I totally can agree with this. See, I wanted to I thought I was going to be doing something controversial, but Chris is a controversial, ranker this evening. I love Desi. I think she's gorgeous. She's strategic. She's physical. Like she kind of is the full package. And I think that she really it was potential for her to win her original season, but she just stuck with Enzo. Like Enzo really just tanked the season for her. And and they're going to be switching partners. So it really didn't even make any sense as to why he had to tank her season. And we also had lost another person. Like it was just so unfair. And I know these games are not necessarily fair, but the way that went down for her sucked. And so I'm happy that she's in a good position. I'm happy that she's thriving. I'm happy to have her in the number 1 position. I felt that Michaela, I was impressed by how she handled Wes, but I'm definitely willing to give Desi flowers here 100%. No, it's fine. Totally fine with me. So it's the number 1 spot. Okay, so let's
Drew, what was your thoughts? I don't think we checked in with Drew.
Sorry, go ahead, Drew.
No, I think you both said the exact same stuff. I mean, I think both are right to be 1 and 2. It could be even 1A and 1B. I think they work so well together. They're almost like an iconic duo that are like helping to sharpen each other almost, because it's like when one has an idea, the other one is like backing them, and it's just like it's a nice like synergy type of thing, and it's great that they're both on the same team. And it was like Desi put out, I want to take a swing, let's go bananas at Tori, and she had that stance. But then Michaela was able to come in against Wes, what he was trying to say, and she was able to like undercut it so brilliantly with the words. And then Desi was able to start the ball rolling, being like bananas and Tori, banana, and it was just done. It was over. Like it was like a two punch knockout with the two of them, and I think that they're going to be really difficult to beat. And I think that they're just, I just think they're really, really good. And I think that we got it right with at least two people at 1 and 2.
Yeah.
We got there in the end,
The
fam. We
number
got there.
23 and 24 and number 1 and 2. Kind of.
The rest was just the absolute mess.
I mean, it was a fun mess. Okay, so let me just play it all for us so we can see how we ranked everybody. I know that there's going to be a few people upset, but this is what we have going on right now. It's painful. Ooh, that's low, bananas. Sorry.
Jeez.
Pretty good.
Looking good up until this point. I think we did a good job.
This actually, I feel
ranking.
good about this.
Amanda's going to be the most controversial, I think.
Yeah, I would probably
chat.
put Amanda a little bit higher, but like I can understand physically she's not that threatening, or you can't really count on her to win an elimination. So,
well, think people that are Amanda fans, you know, she could be higher next week or 3 weeks or 4 weeks from now. You know, you never know what's going to happen.
I think we got it right. I mean, Michelle
really
might be a little bit high for me, but like, so the Michelle and Amanda are the two, interestingly enough, they're kind of fighting that I feel most people will have some problems with, but I feel like everybody else is pretty, I'm fine with it. Like I'm good.
I'm going to sleep all right tonight. That's all I'm going to say. I know there's a lot of people that are going to come for me because of the Amanda vote, but you know, don't worry. Like, we'll see what happens.
Sleep okay? Are you sure?
I'm going to sleep.
One eye
sleep
open.
okay.
Like...
The good thing, the reason I can be controversial like this is because I'm in Australia. I'm not over in the US. People are not going to walk up to me on the street telling me how much I suck. You know.
Fair. Well, we did it. We got through the rankings. So the next time we're probably going to do it will be in probably about 2 weeks or so. So a lot of people will have been gone. So I'm wondering if it's going to be like our bottom people. So we'll kind of keep track of that, of who leaves. Now, Drew, do you have the time to maybe share with us how we're doing in our draft for this season since we're all together?
Yes. So after 2 weeks, this is 2 weeks of combined points. Right now in third place, I'm sorry to say, Chris, you have 91 total points and you're in third place, but it's still very, very close.
91's a lot of points, like for the first 2 episodes, right? That's pretty good.
Yeah. This episode, you two scored 50 total points and I scored 48 total points. So that's how many points like everybody got. And it's inflated because of all the daily wins.
That's true. Multiple people. Right.
Chantele, you are in second place currently with 99 total points. Fessel is your lowest scorer at 8, right at the tippy top. And then my team is slightly in first place with a 4-point lead. I have 103 points, but I did lose John A. And Chris did lose Amira, one of his sabotages already. One is slightly better loss than the other one since John A was my second pick and you had Amira as a sabotage. But right now, Amanda is my number 1 scorer as the last pick to drop to me. She has 21 total points, and Michelle is Chris's highest scorer with 19 total points because we were crossfighting, and then Tori is Chantele's leading scorer with 20 total points.
Okay, I'm happy with being in second. Wait, how many total points do you have, Chris?
91, I think it was.
91, 99, and 103?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everybody likes a good underdog story, you know. I've got team underdog there with Desi and Chris Underwood, you know. I'm putting all my faith in them, you know. Bananas, a little bit worried, you know. It's my number 1 guy pick. I'm really worried by, the looks of this draft. He's not that high.
We ranked Amanda.
And you ranked
Amanda
20th.
Is at 15.
15.
Yeah, I think people wanted to know I think people want to know where we individually
I don't remember
ranked them.
Now.
So
I thought I'd written them all down. I'll have to watch in the beginning where I had it.
I'm to blame. Blame me. I'm the one that ranked her the lowest, you know. But I'm okay with that. Like I said, you know, I'll live with it.
Yeah, Chris Drew in the rank. I think I had her at 9, to be honest.
Yeah. Listen, again, for me, I will eat crow if we come back and we talk about this in a couple of weeks' time and she proved me wrong. I'm worried for her and I stand by my rankings.
That's fine. Well, I mean, we did it. 2 hours, not too bad. We got through all the people. Is there anything that we haven't discussed, haven't talked about? Anything you're looking forward to, excited about? Anything you're working on? What do we have to our final thoughts? Drew.
I'm doing a lot over at patreon.com/angelcakevids. And I think we nailed this power rankings in the sense that I think we exhausted and went through it very thoroughly. That I don't think we left any stone unturned, which I think I appreciate and the chat appreciates for the most part.
Yeah, we put them through 2 hours of torture. No, I listen, it was a lot of fun. I also just wanted to give a massive shout out to Drew for reaching 30,000 subscribers on his channel. Well done, Drew. That's such an awesome achievement, mate.
Thank you.
It's so good to see. It's so good to see that the hard work is paying off for you. And for those that are thinking about joining his Patreon and they're like 50-50 on it, I am one of his Patreons. I'm part of the bakery. Drew does a lot of work on there, and he's got an awesome community on Discord. He's very active and engages with everyone. So if you want to have that one-on-one feedback with Drew himself, go consider joining his Patreon. I'm sure there's links on his channel that you can go and check out. On the Nullified Take channel,
is he going to convince everybody to like be in love with Josh? Is that what happens over at the bakery? Is that what
that's
I'm
maybe
listening?
why?
Maybe.
It's maybe why I'm
Sign
softening up on him.
out.
It's like, anyway, so on the Nullified Take channel, we're covering this week Traitors Australia. The first week of that is going to be on, I believe, Thursday night and our side, Wednesday in the US. And we're also covering Traitors New Zealand. So both Traitors, it's a double Traitors week. And then by the end of the week, myself and Kahuna will be back on Saturday evening at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time to cover episodes 2 and 3 for the Challenge USA 2 as well. So come join us. We always love having a great live crowd there, and we engage with you as much as we can. And like you would have seen here, you can come and tell me how wrong I am, because both myself and Kahuna, we've got hot takes, and it seems to be different from other people sometimes. So come and tell us.
It's really perfect. Chris. I'm laughing at Chris here. No, we don't listen to Drew's takes over there. Lol. Honestly, this was a really, really fun time. Like, obviously, that I don't actually care that much, but I do love having a reaction about the things that both of you do. It was a really good time. So I'm really happy that you guys both came on my channel over here to talk about these rankings. So we will not be doing rankings every week. We will be doing it in quarterly sections, sort of. So the next one, where did I say, Drew? The next one after episode 6, I think I said.
I believe so, yes.
I think after 6, then after episode 8, then after episode 10, as I think it's every 2 weeks we'll do these rankings. So things will definitely shift and change. They will probably be equally as lively, because there'll be a lot of data that we're going to have to be kind of moving around to be able to figure out where they actually rank. So I think that not having every single week will allow these discussions to be a little bit more colorful. So I look forward to that. I'll probably make the stream a little bit earlier so that you guys will know and get the notification. So please subscribe to all of our channels. So Angel Cake Entertainment channel, the Nullified Take, Reality Realists with 3 S's. Please like this video and tell us who we got wrong. We need to have this conversation continue on in the comment box, because we know that there's going to be issues about Josh, Bessie, probably Tyler, Amanda, definitely Michelle, anybody else that we got to. Alyssa S. These are people that we know that people are going to have things to say about. So say it in our comments and we will continue this conversation there.
Yeah, let us know in the comments below, which one is the more controversial take? Amanda at number 22 or Josh at number 1? Please let us know in the comment section below.
Number 1! Josh at number 1 is way more controversial. 100%. I can't co-sign that. There's just no world that I can.
I feel personally attacked right now. Just throwing this out there. I didn't even say number 1. I said number 1 for the men.
Number 1. That number 1 and Josh were in the same
I only heard
you
number
showed us
1.
the list. He was at the top of the list. You did the men first. He was top of mind for you.
I'm gonna make Goof Troop t-shirts, and I'm gonna sell them. And guess what? They're gonna sell out. And
Goof Troop
who will be laughing?
will sell out. You know,
who will be laughing?
Goof Troop isn't that's Goofy's troop actually though, right? Interesting.
Yeah, but
it would sell.
It's for Josh.
I
Josh's
get
fan
it.
club is called the Goof Troop.
Yeah, Nick, nobody wants to take any credit for you anymore, Drew. Not today. Well, love you both.
My cheeks are hurting because of
I'm
all of this
sweating.
laughing.
I swear I'm sweating. I love you guys. I love everybody in the chat. Thank you for supporting all of us. You guys make this lively and fun. So we'll be doing it again in a couple weeks. Thanks, everybody. Ciao.
See ya.